Okay, and lines are moving. That means we're recording.
Fantastic.
This is off topic because we're on mic, but I really recommend the Dolby On app for like ad hoc recording. It's of the ones that are just like app on phone, plug nothing in, do nothing.
Yeah.
It's like one of the crispest. It's got really good noise reduction. Okay, so it feels weird to do this with being able to see you.
I can see your... Yeah,
I'm distracted.
We're in the same room, which has never happened before. Well, it's
Well, it's
many
happened
times
before, yeah.
It's not happened before whilst also recording a podcast. This is a bonus episode of Analysis Roulette. My name is Duck. I use he, him pronouns.
I'm Dia. I use they, them pronouns.
Correction, I use he, they pronouns. It's just that I am not very smart and sometimes I forget what pronouns I use. They haven't changed.
We've all been there.
So we have just had a cinematic experience.
Yes, so let's set the scene. We're in my living room.
We are.
Duck is staying with me for a couple of days, and we thought, what should we do with our evening together? Should we do something, productive and highbrow and cultured, or should we watch Death of a Unicorn?
And we decided to get takeaway and watch Death of a Unicorn, and we have no regrets.
So we are both very well fed. We each have a cup of tea from some lovely blends, which I will recommend. One of them is the chocolate biscuit flavour from Bird and Blend, and the other is the praline ganmacha flavoured from the now defunct T4.
So if you can go back in time and get it, that's what we recommend.
I think the brand still exists, but the shop that I went to buy this doesn't, and I haven't found it at any of their online locations.
But it's real good because it's roasted rice tea with praline in is a good idea.
It's easy to DIY. If you have both, like, sort of some kind of caramelly green tea and some ganmacha, you can just mix them together.
Alchemy.
And it'll work. Tea is simple. But we are both fed, we are both watered, and we have just both seen Death of a Unicorn for the first time.
It's so good. We have no actual school of analysis here. We're literally just going to tell you our thoughts. That's why this is a bonus episode.
Yeah. Also, if our vibe is a little bit different from usual, it's because, as mentioned, we are sitting together, we're on the same sofa and everything, and we're recording this on my work phone.
Right, we can see each other's gestures, which we normally... Just behind the scenes view, we normally don't have our cameras on because it eats up too much bandwidth.
And also because I'm usually podcasting like
From a
curled
tent.
up like a goblin in my little tent.
Right, so we normally can't see each other's faces or gestures, and it may throw us off our game, which is a weird thing to say. we may lapse into telepathy is the problem.
We also might just talk like we're having a casual conversation without elaborating for you guys what gestures we're making or references we're referencing.
Yeah, this is loose. This is playful, and this is a bonus episode, and none of you are paying us for this, so enjoy.
We just couldn't not bring you in on this because
Right, we just watched a film and we'll talk about it if
ladies
it's
and
good.
gentle beings, Death of a Unicorn.
You have to watch this film. There is so much film in this film.
A motion picture.
A movie was made.
I was saying earlier today that, like, my feeling whenever there's a new Marvel movie and people tell me it's good is I'm like, I don't believe you. It might be good, but it's not a movie. Like, they don't make movies anymore.
No,
they make installments.
Right.
This was a movie.
This had a beginning, several middles, and an end.
It
had characters.
It had themes.
It had so much of a script.
The script, honestly, like, we will probably make fun of some of the campiness of it, because while it was deliberately campy, it was still very funny.
It was very camp. It was very... This is a comedy.
The script was rapier tight.
Right. So we should, maybe talk a little bit about genre.
We should maybe explain the movie
We should maybe explain the movie
We
first.
will do that next.
Okay, what happens in Death of a Unicorn is...
The Death of a Unicorn.
The Death of a Unicorn.
That's pretty early on.
So what happens in Death of a Unicorn is that someone is driving carelessly in a hurry through the Canadian wilderness because they are late to an appointment with some rich, with a rich dying old man and his awful family for being a lawyer reasons. And because he is driving carelessly, he hits a wild animal in the road. And it is, of course, a unicorn.
A baby unicorn.
A baby unicorn. And he goes out there with the tire iron because he's heard that it's the merciful thing to do to put the poor animal out of its misery.
He's very clearly reluctant to do this, but in this time his daughter Sydney has
Ripley.
Ripley. I know it was one of those sort of horror protagonist
names. It had to happen eventually that I knew the name and you didn't. And this is the time that it happens.
All horror protagonists have one of the same 6 gender blender names.
Given the number of that's a scene from X that we spotted, I think she's called Ripley because of Alien.
Yeah, exactly. I knew it was either Alien or Scream or one of those characters. But Ripley, that is, has gotten out of the car and approached the dying baby unicorn and touched its horn and had a sort of transcendental experience.
She had a vision of the inside of the Stargate from Stargate.
It looked like nothing so much as, we were both saying when we see it again later, it looks like in a fast food ad.
It looks like she is about to reveal the burger that has given her this transcendental
It's like
vision.
when you take your first bite of a Blick whatever burger, you have this whoosh and you're in space and you're seeing things and your eyes are lighting up with the cosmos.
Right.
And then it cuts back to you like just chewing and swallowing like the most plastic looking burger you've
That
ever
or the
seen in your
Doctor Who
life.
theme is about to start.
One of those things, yeah, but in like a pinky purpley way.
But in like a pinky purple, you are in space, and we were like, are these unicorns from space?
The unicorns do appear to be from a black hole in the earth, which may or may not be another dimension, which is space.
Yeah.
That's where unicorns come from, team.
It is only slightly plot relevant, which is honestly pretty impressive that are the unicorns from space can be slightly plot relevant in a creature feature.
So, because he's seen his daughter apparently having a seizure,
He violently
the
beats
dad,
the baby unicorn to death
who
with a time.
has a name, but we referred to as Paul Rudd throughout.
He called him Paul Rudd throughout. I did not pick up his name at all.
I've
They
already
hadn't L in it
forgotten
because the rich assholes keep calling him L as a shortening, and he's
Yeah,
not
I think it was
invited.
Elliot.
It might have just been Elliot.
I think it was Elliot, but yeah, Paul
Rudd.
Rudd is a lawyer, and he sees his daughter having this seizure, and like they're trying to bond. They don't get on that great after her mum's death from cancer. She's kind of like a sort of standard 19-year-old. I just discovered leftism. She's an art history major. They're not close or anything, but he sees her having a seizure and immediately smashes the thing's head in
Repeatedly
with a tire iron. It's brutal.
She is like suitably horrified.
She's spattered with blood and completely horrified. I do get it from his perspective. If some like weird creature
She touches the
you've seen,
horn. The horn lights up like a plastic lightsaber.
yeah,
She's having a seizure. You're already holding a tire iron.
I can't say I wouldn't do it if that was my kid.
My panic response is usually to freeze, but that means I wouldn't do it out of a different personal failing rather
Yeah,
than
it's
that
like
think
if
it's
I was
unreasonable.
responsible for a child and I saw them having some kind of unicorn-inflicted seizure with a unicorn I was already planning to mercy kill, I can't say I wouldn't smash its head in.
Right, the context of you were already there with the intention of beating the unicorn to death.
Like, you were feeling conflicted about whether it was the right thing to do, and then it's apparently attacked your child.
Brings your plans forward.
But yeah, so they just shove it in the back of the car.
They have a brief discussion about, do you think the unicorn is in danger? And we find out that their solution to, if the no one else drives along this road, so if the Mounties come along and find that a roadkill unicorn, they're going to know it was me, because I'm the only one who drove by this road and I'm going to be so arrested. So the solution is, we will put the roadkill unicorn in the back of this rental car, and we will take it with us to
in
the
mind,
billionaire's mansion.
They're already running late and the billionaire is angry. But so
They
they
also
get to...
must logically have stopped to change their clothes because they're splattered in unicorn.
Yeah, they're now in different clothes
Now
when
in
they get to the
different
mansion. They get to the mansion and Richard E. Grant is there.
Richard E. Grant is
He's
there.
the dying billionaire. His wife is there. His wannabe Steve Jobs son is there, who's the crypto investor kid.
All of them, meaning the actors, are having the most fun it
They
is
are having
possible
the
to
time
have
of
on
their
set.
lives. There's also a staff, so there is a woman who I only referred to as not Griff, because the other member of staff is Griff.
And when Griff is in the room, we are all having such a good time.
We love Griff.
Griff is a long-term family retainer in the old English style, which means he does everything that they possibly call on him to do. They have no respect for what his position may be. Our theory, however, is that Griff may have been kidnapped.
The vibe that Griff has is that he may be signed on to cater a sort of
Garden party once?
Yeah, a gun, or maybe they've hired him for this, because they're there for just the weekend. They're there for the weekend to bond with their lawyer because they want him to arrange them leaving money in dying man's will to charitable causes, or at least that's what they've told him.
Right.
So my impression was that Griff has been brought on to cater this specific weekend, maybe multiple times in the past, but he's not actually a full-time body man. This is not a career path for him. They are just treating him like that because he's there and he's staff.
And he has the beautiful role within the film of everyone else is in a melodrama. Griff is working while the rich people around him have a private melodrama. And he is constantly looking, not at the camera, it's not quite that blatant, but he is constantly looking particularly at our art student protagonist, being like, are you seeing this?
Occasionally at other members of staff.
Did you hear what they are saying?
Yeah, he is constantly looking aside to another character going, am I witnessing what I think I'm witnessing?
Right.
He also has the widest eyes I have ever seen on a
incredibly
human
wide
being.
eyes.
He looks like a cartoon character that just saw the coming of Christ.
He looks like a chihuahua.
He does!
He has that like white showing all the way around his eyes as everything that happens terrifies him, but somehow keeps happening.
It doesn't help that the actor is very pale, bald, dark-eyed, and wearing a white shirt, which draws so much attention to the wide eyes.
Right. And he is the only person who is like witnessing the scenes and
He also
hearing the words spoken like a
says
normal human being.
next to nothing for like the first 2/3 of the movie, to the extent that when he got a longer line,
You were like, wait,
I
he's
went-
Scottish?
Genuinely, my reaction was, he's Scottish? Because I had not heard him speak for long enough to identify his accent.
He is the silent but he is interesting because also in how he is shot and he's Igor. Like structurally
He does
is Igor.
hunch like Igor. He's got the bald hair on like the pale frame. Like, he is Igor, but he's also like
But
just
he's an
some
Igor
guy.
who is aware that the guy he is working for
Well, what he is a part-time private chef who has been press-ganged into being Igor.
We suspect he may be being held hostage somehow.
Yeah.
There may be coercion.
Yeah. But he does make a wonderful omelette.
And he does also make my famous moussaka.
Yes, at one point, Rich's wife, it tells the lawyer, Paul Rudd,
You must stay for dinner. Griff's making my famous moussaka.
which is one of our favourite lines, of which there are many.
That is how
Yeah,
rich people
so we're
talk.
like 5 minutes into the film at this point.
Right.
The daughter, Ripley, she asked to like excuse herself because she's a bit traumatized. She says she's not feeling well.
Yeah.
And while she's in the bathroom, her acne is magically disappearing. And Paul Rudd and the billionaires are talking about how, well, they asked him to bring his young daughter along so they could get a sense of his character.
Because they wanted to bond with him and his family because we are creepy rich people who are a bit weird about professional relationships.
Yeah, it's like, I can't trust you with my philanthropy money if I don't see what you're like with your child.
He's kind of buying this, which is because he really, really wants this job because he's got a fixation on he needs to make enough money for her.
Yeah, the impression you get, to be fair, they don't spell it out, which I appreciate, because we've seen movies, we know this relationship,
Yeah.
is he isn't able to emotionally connect with her through grief, so he's trying to materially provide for her as like a
Right.
replacement for emotional support.
Right. And he specifically wants to make enough that she will never have to work.
Yeah. So
Which is
that
why
she can
despite him-
pursue art history.
So she can pursue art history.
He does tell them she's an art history student and then look at their faces and go, oh, maybe undecided.
They are actively horrified. It's
They
extremely
are
funny.
disgusted by art history, despite being in their weird rich people mansion full of art history.
Right.
It's like, no, these are just status symbols. You don't know stuff about them.
Is it around this point the unicorn comes back to life?
Not quite. So the unicorn, she gets a premonition that the unicorn is going to come back to life.
Right, and she comes back
has a
down and is like,
vision-
Dad, we have to go home.
Yeah, she has a vision of the other unicorns coming to avenge it and also of it coming back to life. So she goes in like, Dad, I feel bad. We need to leave immediately. And she pulls him aside and is like, there is something going on with that thing we hit in the road. And she eventually convinces him to take her back to the airport and drop her off and like presumably hide the dead unicorn
Right,
somewhere.
although she is also very upset about the whole you're going to go and drop me off and then you're going to come back here. Did you not listen to what I was?
Which is a recurring theme.
This is
But
the movie where no one
billionaires-
listens to Ripley.
The billionaires, although you're not going to have your daughter with you all weekend, well, we can't do business with you. So Paul Rudd immediately backtracks and goes, oh, well.
They make it about his like moral spinefulness that if he was really committed to this arranging power of attorney gig, he would keep his daughter here.
Yeah, his sick daughter who doesn't want to be here.
Yeah.
We also get some delightful character portraits of all of these people, by the way. When we say the script doesn't miss a beat, like, it is such concise, good writing.
These characters are so well drawn in a few minutes and a few lines. You hate them, which you're supposed to.
don't get me wrong,
but you
the
understand
actors-
exactly who they are. The actors are also
The actors are doing a
job.
fantastic job, but the script is so tight. Like, within about a line, you have the measure of everyone in this movie. And that's not because, I mean, they are simple characters because it's a,
But they're also
it's a melodrama.
very clearly drawn.
But they are extremely well characterized straight off the bat.
Yeah, this is not a film that's trying to do pure realism. Like, this is not trying to present to you, here is straightforwardly how real human beings would behave in this situation. It is presenting to you...
Except Griff.
Except for Griff, which is why he works so well. But like, what the script is doing is presenting you with a quick portrait of a kind of person.
Yeah.
And that's the thing it's doing so incredibly well.
Yeah.
And that you know exactly who these people are.
It is like evil hunting billionaire ineffective, like sort of image obsessed
Slightly
billionaire's
playboy
wife,
son.
and like sort of fail son would be playboy, would be Steve Jobs. Like he's trying on a lot of different successful dude identities and just can't meet the entry requirements for any of them.
Right, he has a couple of scenes where he's like trying to like be a playboy in the sense of trying to like have a promiscuous sex life and can't quite communicate that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, he's trying to be, you know, a businessman, a genius, a playboy, like
He is trying to be Tony Stark.
He is.
He has none of the qualifications for being Tony Stark apart
He's
from
not even
money.
trying to be Tony Stark all at once. He's trying on these different roles to be like, will this be the one that I'll succeed at and my dad will be proud of me before he dies?
I will be Playboy Tony Stark. I will be philanthropist Tony Stark. I will
Yeah.
be genius inventor Tony Stark.
And he's just failing at all of them, and his parents think he's pathetic because he is.
Right, but they also think he is the heir to their fortune, which
Yeah.
he is.
So
they're
this is
like
what
willing
you
to
got.
put up with a lot of pathetic, but they do not respect him.
Yeah.
None of these people respect each other, which I appreciate.
Similarly, the staff are drawn immediately. We mentioned Griff. Griff has no lines, but you get Griff instantly. Amazing work by the actor.
Fantastic. We have the not Griff, who is the clearly ex-military,
Yeah.
is very
like-
enthusiastic every time she gets to shoot
Griff and
things.
not Griff are both British. He's Scottish, she was English, I
I think English.
As is Richard E. Grant's billionaire. So it does imply that he's brought these two members of staff with him, because they're in Canada. But
Right,
I
this is
think
why I get the
the
impression that
wife
Griff
and
was-
son
I think they were Americans.
are both... They sound American to me, but I'm not amazing at telling American and Canadian accents apart. Unless they're like really distinctive regional ones.
I didn't think they were English.
And obviously Paul Rudd and Ripley, played by Jenna Ortega, are also both American.
And then there's a couple of scientists.
The couple of scientists, yeah, who we don't meet yet though,
don't
because
meet them yet.
at this stage in the plot, the baby unicorn in the backseat comes back to life, sticks its head out of the window screen.
And is immediately shot by not Griff.
Well, I think it looks like it's going to hypnotise Jenna Ortega's Ripley again. So Paul Rudd is sort of trying to intervene but dithering, and then not Griff. It is not Griff, or is it Griff?
It might be Griff.
I think it's Griff.
I think I was very excited
it's
for
the
Griff.
handgun. Yeah, Griff shoots it in the head, point blank.
And it dies again. You know, this is
yeah.
the second time the baby unicorn has died.
There is a lot of death of one unicorn. But yeah, so they immediately... So Ripley spills the beans straight away that her acne has been cured, as have her dad's eyesight and allergies.
And our dying billionaire goes, gosh, how could this possibly have happened? We must test it immediately. We must bring this poor thing inside and we must run some scientific tests.
Yes. And sort of just... It's not really implied it's convincing. It's more
No,
that...
it's just the right things have been said for the record.
Yeah, for the record, we have all said this, and Paul Rudd is desperate, and Ripley is a bit too traumatised to really respond to anything
And doesn't have
anyone
any
is
power
saying.
in this situation
Has no
because it's her
power.
dad and some billionaires.
Yeah, it's her dad and the millionaires, but also seems like genuinely not to be comprehending the words that are being said. She is
she's
out
not
of it.
picked up on we're going to dissect this
Like,
thing.
when she comes back and that's what they're doing, she seems absolutely shocked.
Yeah.
So yeah, they take the unicorn away to... She suggests calling like the World Wildlife Fund or some charity.
Right,
that
and
can
they're
do
like,
something.
no, we need to call in the government.
Yes, we have connections. Don't worry about it, darling. So she and her dad go to bed. They have an argument about it. They both go to sleep separately. There's a whole conversation about a sandwich, which indicates that they are not...
It
the
demonstrates the
same
degree to which they are not close, in which he
Yeah.
in particular has no idea how to relate to her as a
Well,
family
also,
member.
he's eaten the moussaka. And
did
she
eat
has
the
been alone
moussaka.
in her room eating a sandwich that Griff brought her.
Ignoring a sandwich. The sandwich is untouched on the side. But Griff brought her a sandwich probably without being told, because
Yeah.
Griff is a nice guy.
Also, Griff is good at his job. His job
Griff
is to
is
make
so
sure these
competent.
people are happy and fed.
Griff is so competent.
Griff is carrying the brain cell for a lot of this movie.
Okay.
And Ripley is doing a lot of the work, but not necessarily carrying the brain cell.
No.
But yeah, so they have this conversation. They both go to bed, and they both get hustled out of bed by people in like full hazmat gear
Hazmat gear.
for no
They
particular...
take them down to the lab with
Also,
the dead unicorn.
They take them down to the lab with the
Unseparated.
with the dead unicorn, but they don't put anyone else in hazmat gear, including the dying man with cancer.
No, they are led past the guy, the dying man, and then they get rushed into the lab. And
Give
they,
him the hazmat suit.
Right.
He old.
And then they do tests on them. They do remarkably fast. So one of the things that... At this point, I think Ripley had already looked up.
Yeah,
the
so
unicorn tapestry.
before this had happened, after her argument with her dad, but before the lab people arrived.
You know the scene from Twilight where Bella looks up
It's actually
the
not that
symptoms
first.
of
So
vampirism?
after the argument with her dad, she looks at old photos of them with her mum.
Yeah.
And one of them is her visiting the unicorn tapestry, the Cloisters one. And it's very famous. If you Google unicorn tapestry, you will recognise it.
Yeah.
And they visited it with her mother. Apparently it was her mother's favourite museum. It's a treasured memory to her that he has completely forgotten. But she realised that the unicorn tapestry in the back of that actually looks similar to the unicorn that they hit. So she goes and bings it, a la Twilight, and goes straight to the page of just images.
The image result search and just scrolls through the pictures of the same tapestry over and over.
She doesn't appear to click through any of the results until the next day. So she has just looked at pictures of a tapestry, but sure, whatever.
And at this point, you commented that it was because she zooms in on one, and it has like a black hole in the background.
Yeah.
And you said it's always fun looking at where they use real old art because you can see where they've edited it. The reason I bring this up is because we then get the scientists the next morning over breakfast presenting their results. And this is the point where they are photoshopping bits onto the edges of the science in the same way as they have the tapestry. And once they accepted that was what was happening, I calmed down.
Yeah, like
the graphs that have absolutely no possible meaning in the context of the words being spoken about them. It's wonderful.
They are just standing in front of graphs talking about unrelated science.
There's graphs in science.
I'm a big fan of the bit where they're talking about how they've run the chromosomes and proven it that it isn't a horse, which they cannot possibly have done in this amount of time, but also the graph they're standing in front of is of an X-ray.
Right, but they're like...
Which does kind of prove that it's not a horse.
We can't do too much genetic testing out here, it is,
in a pop-up lab in a mansion in Canada.
But we have conclusively proven this is not a horse, so we're like, yeah, because it's a unicorn.
It's also obvious. I can't express how much the unicorn design they went with is not just a horse with a horn. It's not a horse with a horn.
It's got quite forward-facing eyes.
It's got fangs.
It's got fangs. It's got a sort of general facial.
It's got a little bit more donkey. There's a word for them, but I don't remember it. Like thummy hooves instead of cloven hooves.
It's not got that. What it's got hooves, and then it's got like a sharp velociraptor spur as a back.
Like there is a word for that kind of spur thing, but I don't remember it.
I don't remember either.
But like they've got sort of a donkeyish muzzle and an almost goat-like, you pointed out, sort of frame, but huge.
They've got like the little beard that goats have.
Yeah.
And they've got great big horns that are not like the smooth narwhal type horns.
The baby's one that we've seen so far is much more narwhalish. There will be more unicorns, and they are not narwhalish.
The additional unicorns will not die.
Yeah, they look more like chainsaw-ish.
Yeah, they're quite sort of broad at the base. They've got a lot of they're ridged, but they're like barbed.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so they're doing their science. They've got their graphs.
They're talking about the graphs.
And they think that it can heal things.
They think that it can heal lots of things. Oh, look at this poor dying billionaire. We'll just have to, for science, test this immediately.
Yeah, he volunteers to be the first human trial of unicorn dust.
So they go and they grind up some unicorn horn, they dissolve it over a Bunsen burner, and they stick it in an IV.
And they just drip it straight into him. And he has a whole speech about how it's, like, whether he dies or not, the money goes to Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
To keep Paul Rudd sweet, because, like, Ripley has no power here, but Paul Rudd could technically just drive away.
He could technically just leave and explain things to the world.
And like tell people like, hey, this crazy old dude has a horse that he's torturing. Probably don't say the word unicorn, but like...
Yeah.
You know, you could report that to the RSPCA or whatever. I don't know what the Canadian equivalent is.
Somebody probably would, care.
Yeah.
It would at least make the news.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, it does in fact. So we then get Ripley goes to look at some more tapestries and has a theory that like it's a bad idea to kill unicorns.
Her theory never really gets beyond. It gets detailed. It is just like bad things will happen. This will upset the unicorns.
Well,
people didn't used to think unicorns were nice.
She's going off a combination of she has. Like, does actually know a decent amount. Like, she does actually get to do some art history and is knowledgeable about it.
Crucially,
she's also had unicorn visions. So she is going off a combination of visions, and I have backed up my visions with art history research. And my conclusion is, this is a bad idea. And she doesn't really elaborate on that beyond, like, we should just leave it outside, like they did back then, because otherwise bad things will happen. Look, there are tapestries of people being gored by unicorns, and I had a vision of scary unicorns. Why don't we just put the baby unicorn outside, and we will not have a problem?
Wannabe Steve Jobs says, yeah, great, why don't you put together a presentation to keep you occupied?
He specifically says a mood board.
Put a mood board together to keep your pretty little head occupied while the rest of us...
He gets Griff to bring her a printer to keep her occupied making
Griff
a mood board.
Griff rolls his eyes and complies.
Yeah.
And then he turns around
making a mood board
while the son turns around in shock and horror to witness his father standing of his own volition, no longer in a wheelchair, casting aside his walking stick, and has the clearest expression of, well, there goes my inheritance, that I've ever seen anyone
so
portray.
transparent. It's majestic.
It's so good.
Wonderful. But yes, so Richard E. Grant no longer.
The level of camp increases considerably once Richard E. Grant is allowed to have energy.
Yes, and there are two scientists, dude scientist, lady scientist. Dude scientist gets to say, yeah, spontaneous remission, it's really hopeful and positive. And the billionaire's like, he's cured. Stop saying hopeful, optimistic, positive outlook. Tell us he's cured of cancer. And obviously the scientists, in a hilariously, misplaced bit of naturalism, have refused to use the phrase cure for cancer. He says, this could possibly be looking at a cure type things. And the billionaires are just like, so we've cured cancer. We've done it, going.
Yeah. The other scientist is like, yeah, it does kind of look like your cancer might be cured.
Yeah, but I love the fact that he's just not
He's
having
like,
it.
no, there's reason to hope. And Richard E. Grant's like, no, I am cured.
Yeah. And they immediately plan to synthesize it. They're told by the scientists that they can't synthesize this protein.
For psychobabble reasons.
Yeah. So what they immediately say is call the Davos set.
Go down the list of Davos visitors.
They literally
and
go
start
through
selling them
the
grams
Davos
of horn.
Literally, he tells his wife to go through the Davos guest list and look for people who've had recent health scares, and they're going to sell them. And the son is on the phone to Saudi princes selling it by the gram. That's going to come up later. And it includes she's got a random line. They're clearly pharmaceutical tycoons because she has a throwaway line about how she hasn't
the biggest pace.
she hasn't felt this good since they launched Fen-Phen.
Yeah. The son, meanwhile, invested in Ethereum. He still insists that this is still a good investment, which tells us a lot about him.
Yeah. So this is all happening. And then while they're jubilantly celebrating selling this off to Davos people and Saudis...
they come under siege.
No, first, Ripley bursts in with her mood board.
She does! Which it turns out is just large-scale printouts of the tapestries.
So
there's no further...
They're just visual aids for
There's
her
not
lecture.
even any notes on them. They are just...
Yeah, it is literally just visual aids for her explanation of her theory. And her theory is, if we have a baby unicorn dead in here, bad things will happen, put it outside. Her theory has not changed, she just now has visual aids.
Right, and everyone else tells her to stop being such a killjoy.
And also they turn on the son, really, this is what you left her doing?
Right.
Printing things.
You encourage her to do this?
And the lady billionaire just comes up to her hey, girl
We don't need to
power.
perform for each other.
We don't need to perform for each other. Context, I spent all of yesterday at a female empowerment seminar. So we had a grand old laugh at that moment.
Unlike Ripley, you didn't get to walk away halfway through and leave them hanging.
She starts this we're all girls together, you can trust me talk, and Ripley just leaves. It's
Crucially,
incredible.
she's in the really condescending posture where she's leaning into Ripley's space and Ripley just turns and walks away and leaves her leaning awkwardly. It's so good.
It's wonderful. But yeah, so all of this is happening and they completely ignore Ripley yet again and start making preparations to transport the baby unicorn.
Right.
And while they are transporting the baby unicorn, the EMP readings, which is not a thing, because they say EMF and EMP interchangeably at a couple of points.
Well, yeah, they keep saying that there's an electromagnetic radiation, which is light.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also radio and X-ray and things, but it's also light.
It's the horn glowing. That's
It's
what
the
it
horn
means.
glowing.
But at a couple of points they seem to
And
say
fritzing the electricity.
Yeah, they definitely say electromagnetic pulse and activity at various points, sort of interchangeably.
You know when Magneto turns up, he can mess with the wiring because there's metal in it? The unicorn is doing that.
And also the mystical purple glow cloud that
mystical purple
nobody has commented upon gets more glowy and purple.
The sky gets more glowing and purple. The camera lingers on it to make sure that we, the audience, have noticed the glowing purple
it's not
sky.
invisible because characters have looked at it oh, that's pretty. They just
Aurora.
haven't commented on it at all. Paul Rudd looks at it with a sort of tone of oh, that's strange and cool, but not that's an alarming
But
massive visual weather phenomenon. We should keep an eye out for ball lightning.
But the phone connections all drop. The power goes on the fritz. And
beautifully, when the phone connections drop, we see Ripley's phone screen and it turns unicorn purple before it breaks. It's amazing.
And outside of the polytunnel through which they're transporting the baby unicorn.
They're standing in a polytunnel, transporting a baby unicorn with the scientist standing either side of it, and in mid-word, the male scientist stops looks down, blood is appearing on his chest, and then the horn bursts through.
And there's it's the shot from Alien. It is
literally
he's like scrabbling to pull his shirt out of the way to see what this is, and then the unicorn horn, barbed and ridged and generally vicious, pierces through his chest up to the ceiling.
We're then treated to a glorious unicorn fight scene. We see it they do a great job, to be honest, because the visual effects are good, but they really minimise them in a way that was obviously the smart
They
choice.
do some clever things of avoiding animating difficult transitions for the unicorns and stuff.
Yeah, and in this case, we see it silhouetted before we see it in full.
Right, we see the horn, then we see the menacing silhouette of a unicorn outside the polytunnel.
We very rarely see
floodlights.
a full unicorn in motion. We see a full unicorn still, and we see shadows and parts of unicorns
heads
in
and hooves
motion.
and things. Yeah.
Yeah. So we see it rearing up, and this is we know how big they are because we skipped over Ripley going for a walk in the woods, and she sees some scratches really high up on trees that
Must have been
I for a
unicorn.
second genuinely thought were letters. I was
We thought it
"Are
was a
those
Charlotte's
letters?"
Web situation with the unicorn.
I
which would
was
have been
so
incredible.
excited for this. Doug had to tell me no, those are just scratches because I thought they were letters I couldn't see.
I would, to be
And
fair.
also,
I
she leaves
want
the gate
version of
open,
it
so
where it
really
is
she
signed.
invited in the unicorns.
We judged her so heavily for leaving the gate open. We had views.
That's woodland.
Nobody taught her the countryside code.
That's woodland. You're entering a pastured lawn. Don't leave the gate open. I mean, quite aside from unicorns, think
What
of
if
wildlife.
you're in Canada? What about the moose?
What about? Do these rich weirdos have dogs? You don't know.
The dogs can get out, the deer can get in. You don't leave the gate open at the edge of the parkland to the real woods.
Yeah. So really, what did you expect? But unicorns. Anyway, so the unicorn, we get a gorgeous unicorn outside the polytunnel silhouette scene. Then we get a great look at the unicorn when it gets into the polytunnel. It tears it apart and it chases down Lady Scientist and Paul Rudd. Lady Scientist escapes the polytunnel with the baby unicorn pushing it on a little trolley.
It's on a little surgical gurney.
Yeah. Paul Rudd is knocked to the ground, manages to get up and flee for the grounds outside. And while they're out there, he's yelled to Ripley to get in the car. So Ripley has gotten in the car and immediately turns on her torch and flashes it around, which obviously attracts the unicorn.
Yeah.
So she gets out of the car and under the car.
Smart move.
Yeah. By which point all of the billionaires and their staff have come outside to...
Griff and not Griff are firing guns.
Yeah, the billionaires are not really being of any use but running around a lot. And Paul Rudd... Okay, we have dunked on Paul Rudd. I will say, almost every single time his daughter was in danger, he jumped in with violence immediately.
Yeah, he looks up the hill, he sees her at the car, he sees her being menaced at the car by a unicorn, and it genuinely is about half a second before he is tearing towards that unicorn armed with his bare hands.
He is sprinting Captain America style, completely unarmed, ready to wrestle.
He is gonna fight a killer unicorn.
He is ready to wrestle a giant killer unicorn to the ground. I'm like, you know what? You have been a pretty shitty parent, but points where you deserve them.
Yeah, and these unicorns are draft horse sized.
They're bigger than draft horses. They are moose sized.
Moose are the size of draft horses.
I think
I
they're
have
taller.
got stats
I'm
on
thinking
this.
antlers. I'm thinking antlers, I think.
Yeah, you're
maybe.
thinking about this. At the shoulder,
Yeah.
moose are 6 to
Yeah.
10 inches taller, but...
I think I was factoring
dra-
in antlers to moose
Yeah,
size.
so I looked this up once. Moose are up to a foot taller at the shoulder at their biggest, but draft horses weigh twice as much.
Yeah,
a lot
draft
more
horses are
muscly.
terrifying, honestly. I have ridden a draft horse.
Yeah,
It's
the internet gets very excited about
horrendous.
the excessive size of moose compared to horses, and usually people just don't understand how big a horse can get.
yeah, I
It
have
can get very large.
I have had a ride on a draft horse because I had a family friend whose neighbours had them.
Yeah.
And so they were like, do you want to try riding one? Because I'm a decent rider. I can ride a horse. I was like, I'll give it a go. I was on there for 3 seconds before I went, I'm not controlling this situation.
Yeah, no, the big draft horses, in the same way as if you want to ride an elephant, you sit cross-legged because you can't straddle it. That's what
Yeah.
you do with a big working draft horse. You can ride them on a saddle, but you can also just sit cross-legged on their
This
shoulders.
one was
They are-
saddled, and the way the saddle works is there is just a big strap, and then there is just a built-on hump for you to sit on.
Right, because you
camel
can't
style.
straddle the horse.
Yeah, I cannot straddle a draft horse. I'm 5'6".
Anyway, they're big unicorns is what we're saying. These are not little pony-sized beasts.
No, these are huge with giant serrated horns, with claws, and with fangs.
Their front hooves, and we know this in detail because while they're under the car, one of the bodyguards falls down beside the car and then gets his head stepped on and then gets his head stepped on more and then his head gives way.
Yeah, slowly while he is
he's
screaming, "Help me!"
This is also a horror film. While it is a comedy,
Yeah.
it's also a horror film. But
Face
this is,
to face
the size
with
of the
Ripley.
hoof is the size of his face.
They are huge, and again, I say, so many points to Paul Rudd, because what he does is he tells
sprint
her...
uphill towards this thing barefoot.
He runs full tilt towards this thing, unarmed, ready to fist fight it.
And she says, okay, on 3, run for the house.
1,
No, we're not going to do this.
2,
No, stop counting.
3,
And then
they run.
she runs. And he's like, no.
He's supposed to run in the opposite direction. That was her plan. And he runs after the unicorn.
She runs, the unicorn chases her, Paul Rudd chases the unicorn. And we then have...
She gets to a rickety wooden fence. It will obviously not stop a unicorn, but she goes through a gate and slams the gate shut, and the unicorn stops at the gate.
And looks at her meaningfully and calms down.
And lowers its horn, and the horn starts glowing, and she reaches out to touch the horn the way she did with the baby.
And then they are interrupted by gunshots or something.
Yeah, the guards catch up, and the unicorn gets shot.
Shoot the...
Not Griff shoots the unicorn, and it runs off into the woods. Leaving Paul Rudd there, still sort of squared up and ready to fight a unicorn, but not having had to actually do it.
Right, and then everyone else, except for Ripley and Paul Rudd, goes, and to be fair, probably also Griff, goes, it bleeds. That means we can kill it. We must now hunt the unicorn.
Which, it's not like they didn't have evidence you could kill a unicorn.
They already had a dead one. It's not like it's a surprise, but they just have a moment of, we must now hunt it down and finish the job. For humanitarian reasons, we must now go and get a second unicorn.
Yeah.
Because we can't synthesize the horn from the first one. So we get a second
also
unicorn.
we can't leave it injured. We have to go and
It
put
would
it
be
out of its
cruel.
misery. Yeah, but not Griff and Richard E. Grant are both salivating to hunt this thing. He gets into a
He
little
gets into a colonial hunting outfit with the... It's not quite a pith helmet, but he is...
but it's a little hat, you know.
It's a little hat. He's got the brown jacket. He is going hunting.
He's talking about lion hunting, and
with
he's
Justice
saying
Spear.
how...
He's but I always... He talks
Yeah.
about other Maasai tribesmen
Yeah.
hunting lions with Justice Spear and things like, personally, I've only ever done it with an assault rifle, much like this one.
And the assault rifle was not previously in frame, so it's a reveal shot where he lifts it into frame.
an assault rifle.
And Paul Rudd, I was saying during this, I think Paul Rudd is a really underrated actor, because he mostly does in the 90s, he was the heartthrob boyfriend on a lot of sitcoms, and he now mostly does comedy movies, and people tend to not rate comic actors that much. He's a really good actor. And he does some phenomenal duo work with Richard E. Grant in this.
Yes.
They are a fantastic odd couple. Richard E. Grant is one of those old-time character actors who has clearly retired to a life of gleefully chewing scenery.
Yes.
I think the last few things I've seen Richard E. Grant in, he has just been an evil rich dude hunting aliens, mutant children, or unicorns for sport.
I think it is fun for an actor when you get old enough that you are offered the really chewy character parts.
Yeah.
Instead of having to be the protagonist, you could be the evil billionaire who is not going to end well.
Yeah, it's like how Helen Mirren was suddenly in
everything.
Shazam and Red and things like
you
that.
can take projects that look fun, and also you are offered different kinds of roles because roles for old actors are not the same as roles for middle-aged ones.
Yeah. So Richard E. Grant is having a wonderful time chewing the scenery, and Paul Rudd gets to be the straight man to him, which I don't think he gets to do a lot. So he is having a marvellous time, and they are a great comedy duo. And he immediately goes, well, if you don't come hunting with me, I can't respect you as a business partner. So Paul Rudd has to turn to his daughter, who's let us just leave immediately. There are evil
and he's
unicorns
I'm doing this for you, darling. I have to go and hunt the unicorn with the billionaire for you.
And she's there we could just leave. They just want their baby back. We can give them their baby back, or you and I can go. Those are the options. And he's no, I have to go into the woods and hunt the giant evil unicorn with this weird, colonial
big game
cosplayer.
hunter who just he had this outfit in his Canadian retreat where he was going to die.
I'm coming back to this. I have thoughts about why he had that outfit.
Okay.
But let's get through the plot and most of our on the spot observations before we do any digging in. The son immediately goes, I'm going to go back and...
I have an urgent appointment with the hot tub.
Not even that. He says he's going to go and brainstorm the marketing for
he
their
specifically
cancer
says
cure.
he needs to go and get in the tub.
Yeah. That's
in
where he's
order
going
to brainstorm the marketing.
because they have to get away from the unicorn murder brand.
Which, of course, they haven't got into yet.
I think at this point he has changed into his stupid little Steve Jobs outfit.
He is now wearing his Steve Jobs outfit.
Important context.
He's got slutty little shorts and
wearing,
a turtleneck, which he has tucked into his shorts.
Crucially, slutty little white shorts that match his dad's colonial hunting outfit, and a Steve Jobs black turtleneck, which is tucked into the slutty little shorts. It's a look. And flip-flops.
It communicates a great deal about this character.
He's wearing... And the flip-flops.
The wardrobe department did a great job.
Who wears flip-flops when they're running for their life? We did note they are really well... The colour coding is great. So all of the billionaires wear basically... So the husband and wife wear all white or all very, very pale colours. He wears a mix of black and white, but like mostly white.
Mostly white, apart from when he changes into his he has black and white striped shorts at one point.
Yeah.
And then he puts on his little Steve's Job turtleneck, which is
The
black.
staff, so Griff, not Griff, the bodyguards, and the bodyguards do have black jackets, but under them, and the scientists, when they're not wearing their full hazmat suits,
All have
wear
some variation of
white
white
shirt,
top.
black trousers of some description.
Yeah, like the scientists one is not so much like the servants are in a uniform of white shirts, black trousers. The scientist is wearing like a nice white blouse that you would wear to an office, and much more casual black trousers, but the color scheme is consistent.
Paul Rudd also wearing white
White
top,
shirt,
black trousers.
yeah.
And
Ridley
the only
Ridley the art student.
the only person who wears any colours is Ripley, the art history student.
Who looks so out of place among all of
And
these
she is
people. It's
wearing, I think it is
gorgeous.
actually pink, but it's quite reddish pink. A like hoodie that at one point she's wearing as a cape, like without her arms in the sleeves, but at other points she is just wearing regularly
she's got-
with very big sleeves that gives her a real Little Red Riding Hood look.
Right, and she's got like everyone else has got either like cropped short, standard masculine haircut, or the billionaire's wife has got like carefully,
As has
arranged
Lady
and
Scientist, like a beautiful blowout.
beautiful blowout, and our art history student has got like, I have dyed the ends of my hair blonde and cut it myself with the kitchen
It
scissors.
sort of looks
Like,
like it's kind of
artistically
orangey.
scruffy.
It's very much a like DIY dip dye. I personally thought it was hideous, but
But I'm not sure it's supposed to be attractive.
no. I just hated the colour. It clashes with every single other thing she wears in a way that's very clearly a choice, like deliberately done.
Yeah, again, wardrobe did a great job.
Fantastic job. She stands out like a sore thumb in every single scene because she just clashes with everything.
She clashes with everything, and the billionaire's mansion is done up like not so.
The vibe is like tasteful Victorian rich person
Yeah,
mansion
there's a
to
lot of-
which a lot of modern glass things have been
Yeah,
added.
there's a lot of, but the sort of base note is dark wood and black leather.
Yeah,
and,
and
then
they
they've put
have
in a
like
lot of
built in mod
a glass
cons.
lab and things.
Yeah, like a lab, the hot tub. There's like what I think is like a sort of like a breakfast room that's all glass.
Yeah, there's like a black baby grand piano just tucked away in a corner next to the lab because it's in the way, but of course they've got to
have
baby grand.
Yeah, they've got to have it, so next to the lab it goes. But yeah, visual design is fantastic. But yes, so they've gone hunting the unicorn while she's inside.
Don't you hate it when your dad goes hunting the unicorn with a billionaire?
The son starts snorting unicorn horn after a conversation with the scientist where he steals some. The scientist also steals some at some point. I'm not sure if that happens not long after
the
this.
son basically bullies the remaining living scientist into continuing to cut horns off the baby unicorn
Yeah, so
in
she
memory
goes to
of her
cut off-
lost comrade.
Exactly, yeah. He talks her into doing it in memory of the guy who died. So he steals some unicorn horn powder and goes off to snort it. She goes to like saw off the horn. Ripley is just wandering the house, like occasionally looking at tapestries, but mostly thinking, "What the hell do I do?"
Mostly being aware of how bad a time she's having.
And Griff, not Griff, Paul Rudd, and Richard E. Grant are out hunting the unicorn.
Not Griff is so into this. Griff is also here.
Griff is not happy about any of this and pretty sure that this is not what he's paid to do. But they do in fact successfully hunt the unicorn. They find the unicorn.
They find
anyway.
the unicorn. They then discover that they are a small group of inexperienced people out in the woods with a large, angry, predatory animal that wants to kill them specifically.
Or rather, two large predatory
It
animals
turns
that
out-
want to kill them specifically.
Turns out there's two of them.
Yeah. And the other one is bigger, because we met Mama.
Here's Dad.
Yeah.
He's meaner, he's got more of a beard, he's bigger.
They're both a darker shade of grey than they were earlier.
Yeah, the unicorns that get, like, the adult unicorns get darker through the course of this film.
Yeah, so when we hit the baby, it's like white dappled grey, I would say.
Yeah,
It's like the colour of a grey horse, which is actually
not pure white.
which is like actually off-white. Horses are confusing. But yeah, it is
technically a white horse is a grey horse because it has black skin but white hair.
exactly. But yeah, so it is a sort of, it's actually more the colour of like a white donkey than a white horse
It's
which
grey.
is a grey horse, but you know what I mean. I'm gesticulating vaguely. But yeah, it's a sort of white with like shadowy grey patches and very unconvincing grey injuries.
Yeah, the unicorns bleed black.
Yeah, and they have like purple flesh because at one point Richard E. Grant
is eating a rare
steak.
unicorn steak.
It's not rare. It is so well done.
It's quite purple and squidgy on the inside. I don't know what colour it should be on the outside,
He's
given it's
sawing
unicorn.
through it. If it
Maybe
was
his
mid-rare,
steak
you would not
knives
need
are
that
good.
much
No, you're
work
right.
to get through a steak.
I was just assuming that because it's like horse meat, it will be quite tough.
I guess it's the look of the meat is definitely not
And the look Griff is giving him while he's chowing down on this unicorn steak is very much, I'm going to throw up at what you are eating right now.
Yeah. But yes, so they're in the woods. Not Griff gets killed by unicorns. The others flee back to the house, and they have a bit of a like sort of head to head where they get to the house with the unicorns chasing them. Richard E. Grant has a unicorn on either side of him. They have surrounded him.
Yes, and he starts doing these are just animals and they can only understand the tone of my voice and not what they're actually saying. So I'm just a nice unicorn, good unicorn.
Yeah.
And the unicorn
You
appears
like
to
me,
be,
don't you?
And the unicorn appears to be buying it and it like
Because what he
lowers its horn.
wants
He
is
wants
to
to grab
have
the horn
the
and get the vision.
vision that Jenna Ortega has had. Because she's obviously
assumes
told
it's
him
a
about
profit.
it when she was doing her like presentation
He
with
assumes
visual
it's going to be
aids.
profitable somehow. And the unicorn like lowers its horn to about sort of chest height. And me and Dia look at each other and going, go on, get him.
And it
We're like, gonna get him, isn't it?
straight through the underside of the chin.
And out the top of his skull.
Like, genuinely Hot Fuzz styles him.
Yeah. And then pulls back, drops him limp on the ground, and both unicorns turn to look at the wife.
Yeah. And Griff closes the front door.
Griff says, excuse me, pardon me. Yeah, sorry, thank you. And shuts the front door, like hustles them all out of the way and shuts the door.
Because everyone else was frozen in horror, and Griff just politely goes, sorry, excuse me,
pardon me.
just shuts the door. And
Starts giving out torches.
the others are in there. He hands out the torches and then starts getting things to barricade the doors while the others all just stare at each
At
other.
one point, they're all having an argument, and Griff walks past carrying a grandfather clock and says, this isn't really the best use of time.
This is, by the way, the point at which I said, oh, he's Scottish, because he's finally talking.
Right. Previous to this, his only real line has been to jump heavily when Ripley came into the room because he had his like little white
Headphones
in, not even earbuds. Like these are like
wired headphones. This man
wired
is not well
headphones.
paid.
He's not well paid, and he jumps. And goes, sorry, podcast.
Yeah, that's all he'd said previously. I think he'd maybe said yes at one point when someone asked him for something.
He also said your omelette.
Yeah, he said your omelette. He said yes. We didn't get that much dialogue.
Then he
from
has
him.
actual dialogue, and we realise he's Scottish. Like, oh, I see. So we are actually actively doing the class thing because our only non-white characters were the scientists who are being completely objectified, as in like used as tools by the rich people.
Yeah.
And although on first glance their manservant is white, actually he is Scottish, and the class difference of a Scottish manservant for an English billionaire is quite striking.
Yes, we're doing stuff here. There are layers. We'll get to
we
the
are
layers.
thinking about this.
Yeah, and at this point, they are all arguing about what to do. Jenna Ortega is still saying, I have been telling you, give them back
the baby back.
They want their baby, give it back. And so then the unicorns short out the power.
The unicorns short out the power. A normal sentence.
So Griff comes in and says, okay, the way the gate works is like this.
Someone has
You
to go out
can
there and
manually crank the gate open. At which point, like...
The billionaires hustle everyone else into agreeing that it has to be Griff who goes and does this.
Immediately, Jenna Ortega says, let's draw straws. And the billionaire's wife goes, we shouldn't leave it to chance. And instantly, the son nominates Griff. And Griff not unreasonably goes, whoa, I vote not Griff.
Since when am I the gate guy?
I'm not the gate guy. The son's like, you sound like the gate guy. You know how the gate works. And she's like, I know how gates work because I've seen a gate.
Billionaire's wife is like, well, I also vote Griff. Ripley is like, well, I vote not Griff. Thank you, says Griff. I also vote not Griff.
But they strong arm scientist and Paul Rudd into like
doing all the dangerous jobs.
Griff. Well, they bully scientist and Paul Rudd into agreeing that Griff should do the gate.
And then immediately switch to bullying the scientist into being the one who goes and gives the unicorn back.
So the scientist sawn off the unicorn horn, and she's had a moment alone with Paul Rudd where she says, like, this canister has the unicorn horn in it, I've stolen some unicorn horn powder.
Yeah, just bear in mind.
These billionaires suck, take what you can.
Yeah, just bear in mind, don't wait for them to look after you.
Yeah. So
and then leaves him alone with the unicorn.
Yeah. So they separate the canister from the baby. So the billionaires have the horn.
They've agreed to give the baby back. They're trying to keep the horn.
Yeah. The scientist takes the baby out onto the lawn, still strapped to a gurney, and the idea is that the others are going to go for a car.
Yeah.
And the
When
idea
the unicorns are distracted by the baby, Griff
Yeah.
will open the gate and then they'll escape in the car and leave the scientist to their fate.
Paul Rudd promises they'll come back for Griff and the scientist. The billionaires pointedly promise nothing.
The scientist does not believe them, but that's okay.
No. I think she believes Paul Rudd. She just doesn't think he has any power in the situation. He is kidding himself. But when they get to the car, they realise that wannabe Steve Jobs' son has disappeared.
He has gone to smoke unicorn powder in a pipe?
Yeah. My head is in my hands.
This man.
Because he is having...
This character.
He's having visions. And to be fair, the way he is genuinely having visions.
The unicorn horn is making him smarter, but it's not helping his morals any.
It's making him smarter, but it's not making him capable of listening to other people.
No. It's not giving him knowledge he doesn't have either. He also makes a big thing about how oxygen is flammable.
Yeah.
Which I think is a deliberate mistake. Like
Yeah.
the science we get from the scientists, I think, is just like a hastily drawn sketch to justify the plot, which fair enough, that's what it's there for. I think him not knowing the difference between oxygen is flammable and oxygen makes other things burn is deliberate.
Well, especially because what happens next. But yeah, so he's gone to smoke unicorn powder, as you do, so they can't escape in the fucking car. Because meanwhile, the scientist has been giving back the baby unicorn and tries to make an awkward speech to the unicorns, apologising.
On behalf of humanity, I hope this makes everything cool.
It's a great speech. I don't know that I'd have done better in the situation. The unicorn parents are not impressed and they advance on her and they tear her limb from limb in front of everyone. Mm-hmm. This savage.
Film does not pull punches on the gore.
Griff sees this and just runs out the gate. He's not waiting for the car.
Right, he's got the gate open enough for a Griff. He sees this, he says, oh, fuck this, and just legs it, because Griff, a sensible person who makes decisions that are good.
Griff books it.
Griff books it.
But everyone else is still trapped inside because the gate is only open enough for a Griff, and none of them fancy their chances running past the adult unicorns to get to it. Because, like, you would have to get past the unicorns. Right. So they go back into the house and they separate. So Griff's gone, scientist lady's dead. It's the two parent-child duos separately in the house, each with a different unicorn hunting them.
Billionaire mum goes to find billionaire son.
Before they separate, billionaire son comes back downstairs having ruined the entire plan.
And explains his plan for a unicorn breeding ranch.
No, he doesn't actually say that yet. What he says is that he basically says he's had a brilliant idea, which is to look at the tapestry. And he just repeats all of the same information that Ripley had repeated earlier, but like with less detail and no like depth of knowledge, because unlike her, he doesn't know anything about art history.
But he starts this whole speech with, I took another look at my research.
Yes. But the bit he points out is that she had sort of, when she was asked about the unicorn and the maiden thing, she said, well, she talked about the sort of cultural mores of the church at the time and how that was funneled into art. He takes it literally and says, what we need is a pure maiden to bait them. You have to be ready to do your part. Then they get separated and he tells his mum his plan is to use her as bait to get 2 breeding unicorns and like sell baby unicorns.
That's how you get a supply of unicorn horn, is breed your unicorns.
Yeah.
So far, we are reiterating one of the early Dwarf Fortress exploits.
Yes. But so the 2 of them are separate. This is his plan, is he wants to breed the 2 unicorns, having used Ripley to capture them.
He explains his plan and then proceeds to snort more unicorn horn in front of his mum, who was like, I thought you'd gone clean.
Yeah, which I love that that's her reaction. Meanwhile, Ripley and Paul Rudd are having a heart-to-heart about his inability to like look after her after her mum's death.
Right, and his attempt to substitute making money for her over like loving her, and maybe that means the money was actually for him. And then he reveals. No, he doesn't yet. And then the house is being besieged by unicorns.
The house is being besieged by unicorns.
They are stalking through the halls.
They're stalking around. There is a beautiful jump scare where like they telegraph the jump scare and there's a little jump scare. And then there's another beat, and then there's a bigger jump scare, which means that the bigger jump scare actually surprises you. Because,
it's so good.
Like,
You've got, like, peeking through a door, blank wall, flickering lights, blank wall, unicorn silhouette, blank wall, unicorn!
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I just made Dia jump again.
Yeah, Ben's impression of a unicorn was sufficiently, like, startling that I jumped out of my skin. But yes, so we have... these 2 are hiding in the bedroom that she's been assigned.
Yeah.
The other 2 are in, like, I think it's his
I
study.
think it's his study, yeah.
Because it's got his bow in it that he had asked Griff to get earlier and been mad at Griff for not getting him.
He stumbles and, oh, did Griff do my bow? Well, now I feel bad.
Yeah. Griff's fine. Griff's escaped.
Griff has left.
But so he's now got a bow and arrow that he clearly does not know how to use.
And I feel for the actor who almost certainly does know how to draw a bow and arrow.
Yeah, because
Does a great job of doing it really badly.
I've seen him in things that he had, like, I'm not actually sure I remember him using a bow and arrow, but like medieval weapons in.
Yeah.
Like, he does know how to do this, and he is doing a beautifully bad job.
Yeah.
Like, I've done maybe
His
3
elbow
archery
is in
classes.
the wrong place.
I've done maybe 3 archery classes, and I'm confident I could do better.
His grip is wrong, his elbow is wrong, it's so good at being bad.
But yeah, so we have the we have the 2 of them, and obviously they are.
One of the unicorns is upstairs menacing Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
The other one is downstairs hunting billionaires.
Yeah. So the billionaires, essentially, they've managed to lock themselves in a room, and the mum goes up to the wall and says, I think they've gone. And this is the point where they've had the conversation about oxygen being flammable, because her improvised weapon is an oxygen canister.
You skipped a bit. Before they get themselves locked in the room, Griff demonstrates his true weapon prowess, which is throwing his shoes at things.
Oh, yes. Sorry, yes. The way they get into this room is they distract the unicorn by, with incredible accuracy, he throws a flip-flop at the baby grand piano and it, like, plays a series of notes.
Yes.
Not even that discordantly.
It plays a nice chord, and while the unicorn is chasing the grand piano, they go and snatch the canister of baby unicorn horn that they left in the middle of the floor and go and lock themselves in another room.
Yeah.
Have a conversation. Mum puts her head right up to a bookshelf. It's like, I think they're leaving. And of course, the horn comes through the bookshelf into her shoulder.
Yeah, crucially, everyone else has been gored straight in the middle of the chest.
Yes.
She gets shouldered.
The
only other person who's been stabbed non-fatally with a horn is the scientist who they were playing with. They tore her to pieces.
Yeah.
Presumably because she had just shown them a, like, brutalised version of their baby's body.
Right, and not even the whole body.
Yeah. So they drag her through the wall, the single unicorn, not plural unicorns, drags her through the wall and, like...
Throws her around a couple of times by the legs.
Throws her onto a pool table and, again, credit to her, she grabs a pool cue and smashes it over the head. It doesn't do anything, but
she fights back more than most of them have been able to.
She is the first person to fight back to a unicorn.
It then
stabbing
starts,
them.
with its sharp, horrible teeth, like, getting into her innards.
Yes. She opens the oxygen canister, and her son, who is on the balcony above because he hasn't followed them down, has his bow and arrow. He wraps it in fabric and sets it alight and takes aim.
And she says, do it.
And he mouths, I'm sorry.
He
and
says,
then it
forgive
cuts away.
me.
Yes.
And then crucially, what it is he doesn't do it. Because we see her looking up at what's now, he's no longer on the balcony.
Yeah.
Instead of shooting the flaming arrow towards her.
It cuts to her being disemboweled. And then it cuts back to him not being there.
Not being there. Because he did not fire the arrow because he still wants to have a unicorn farm.
He wants to breed the unicorns more than he wants to spare his mother a horrible death by disembowelment.
Mm-hmm. And it's graphic.
It's really graphic. You see innards. Meanwhile, Paul Rudd has revealed to his daughter that
he's got the unicorn
baby
horn
unicorn's horn and has had it the entire time.
He has stuck baby unicorn horn down the back of his trousers like an idiot with a gun.
Yeah.
And she's like, why have you done this? We're all going to die.
Yeah.
And why did you...
He pretty much says, well, I thought I needed to provide for you. You'd be set for life. And she says, you know, I told you what I wanted you to do very clearly. It was leave now, immediately.
Right. You did not listen to when I told you the literal words of what I wanted you to do.
What he does is the unicorn is at the door. He pushes her out onto the balcony and locks her out there and then shows the unicorn as it breaks through the door the horn.
Yeah, so it runs past him because it's pushing its way into the room and then immediately turns to chase him because he's got the horn.
Holds the door shut for a second and then as it charges the door, he opens it, gets out of the way.
Waves the horn at it.
Yeah. Barges through the door, waves the horn at it, gets it to chase him and runs away with the unicorn chasing him.
Yeah.
She has jumped off the balcony and is about to make her escape when Billionaire's son shows up with a barely knocked arrow.
It's so bad.
Like, to the extent that, like, if he released it, I genuinely think it would bounce off her head.
It's not good. He's not good at using this weapon.
Yeah. He's also way too close. Like, she could just reach out and grab the arrow. It is a distance weapon.
But she doesn't know these things because she is an art history student.
And she's also, like, had an eventful day. Also, by the way,
sorry, that wasn't
timeline
an art
of
history
this...
student. That was she is an art history student rather than a billionaire's son who's been taught sport archery.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't... It's
also now broad daylight, by the way. It was the middle of the night a minute ago. It was the broad daylight before that. It was the middle of the night before that. It's very confusing.
Yeah, it is the middle of the night entirely through the house, and then she gets out into the outside world, and it's not even dawn, it is full daylight. Just accept
Yeah.
this.
You just have to take that as it is. So he forces her to like sit calmly near the body of the baby unicorn outside near the hot tub. Because his theory is that the unicorns will come to her and be like lulled into security. He is entirely correct, because crucially, this idea is one he stole from a woman. It seems to be the only place he can get correct thoughts.
Unicorn comes up, sniffs her, lays down with its head in her lap.
This is one of the great moments of like not showing the unicorn doing
Right,
difficult
we
things.
see the unicorn sniffing her. It's mostly unicorn head, like leaning in, sniffing her menacingly. We cut to her horrified face, her closing her eyes, ready to die, her looking up in shock, and then we pull back to see the unicorn already lying down in her lap.
The second unicorn we do see go from standing to lying, and it is very much a flump. It looks like it's been
Have
tranquilized.
you seen a horse lie down?
Exactly. I'm not saying it's inaccurate, it's just very funny.
That's fair.
But yeah, so Billionaire Son is tying up the unicorns. They are now pitch black, by the way.
They are pitch black.
They've been getting progressively darker.
Trying to hobble unicorns with rope.
Yeah, he does not know what he's doing.
He's not
he
good
is
at this.
just he's doing it like a shoelace, which is quite funny. But yeah, so he's tying up the two unicorns. He's got his breeding pair. She kind of says, "Can I go now?"
He's like, no, you are in on this. Here's your dad. Hi, my victim's dad. We are partners in this. Good work.
Because obviously Paul Rudd is the reason that the second unicorn is there. It was chasing him because he's still got the baby's horn.
Yeah.
And he turns to Paul Rudd and says, "We're partners in this. Great work." Paul Rudd looks at the tied up unicorns, the dead baby unicorn, and his terrified daughter's face, and just stabs the guy
With a unicorn horn.
with a unicorn horn.
It's beautiful.
Unfortunately, the billionaire is holding an arrow, so he stabs Paul Rudd right back.
At this point, we're like, they're just going to die and she's going to go off and live with the unicorns in space? Because that would be kind of great. They have a touching heart-to-heart as he's dying.
Yeah, so they leave.
The billionaire is like
billionaire-
trying to finish one or other of them off and then just gets kicked across. He goes for the unicorn, I think.
I think he's maybe trying to heal himself with the unicorn horn or blood or something.
But the unicorn just like...
Kicks him because it's freed itself of its terrible hobbles.
It just kicks him in the head like a horse does and he flies across the room with a dent in his head.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd are having a touching heart-to-heart where she explains the vision the unicorn gave her, told her that the unicorns and humans all come from the same place, which we thought was space, but might be more metaphysical. And they all go back there in the end, so she knows her mum is there waiting, and he's like, "I'm going to see her soon." And presumably the unicorns are out of shot, awkwardly standing there, waiting for their moment to interrupt, because... as soon as he's dead and she's crying on his chest, the unicorns start rearranging things.
They come and delicately pull him by his shirt with their sharp, sharp teeth.
Yeah, they put him on top of the dead baby, they put the dead baby's horn next to the dead baby, and then they put their horns together.
They cross their horns like swords and cause a black hole.
They make a black hole, which like gives Paul Rudd the same vision that Ripley had when she touched the baby's horn in the first place, of like heaven/space. And you see his hand join the crossed horns. And it brings both Paul Rudd and the baby back to life.
Glues the horn back on the unicorn's head.
Glues the horn back on. The baby is like, all three of the unicorns turn white again.
Yep.
And at this point, with Billionaire Son like dead on the floor, the unicorns just happily leave.
Ripley and Paul Rudd look at each other like, wow, what a weekend we just had. What are we gonna do now?
And then the gate swings open.
The glorious return of Griff, who just went and got the fucking police. Because Griff is a smart man.
Griff is also not that many police. So you do question what he
two
said.
vans. It's
so you really question what Griff told them, because he got them there, but not with a huge amount of urgency.
not with force and not with urgency. I wonder if it's like they're being attacked by some kind of wild animal and we need a response.
He probably didn't say the word unicorn.
Or like, I think this lawyer is gonna murder the video. Like whatever he said, it wasn't killer unicorns.
Yeah.
Anyway, they arrest
Paul Rudd and Ripley, because of course they do. They're covered
They're surrounded by bodies.
and
They're
surrounded
covered
by
in
dead
blood.
bodies, and neither of them has a scratch on them because of magic unicorn healing.
Right.
But they are covered in blood.
They are covered in blood.
Some of which is Paul Rudd's.
Right, but it's very hard to tell that when he has no wounds.
Yeah. There's a hole in his shirt where he was stabbed, but he's not bleeding. So it does look a lot like they just killed a bunch of billionaires.
Which is an understandable impulse, but is illegal.
Yeah. So they're put in the back of the cop car, and they're sort of saying, wherever we go next, we'll be okay because we have each other. And we're like, Canada has gendered prisons.
And we know about the metaphysical. We'll be reunited in the end after we get out of the gendered prisons.
With Mum, yeah.
Yeah.
At which point, the cop driving looks in the mirror and goes, "What is that?"
As they are gloriously and triumphantly chased along the side of the
first, the unicorns are running along the side of the road. Griff is in his mini behind them. Griff sees the unicorns.
road. Come past and he goes, sorry, rolls up his window.
I love him. And the unicorns catch up to the cop car, and the cop is going, what the fuck?
At this point, we're like, are they going to believe them when they say there were unicorns? This is great.
They've been vindicated. Everyone knows there were unicorns.
Paul Rudd and Ripley are smarter than us.
There are cameras in cop cars. This is all provable.
Right. No.
Paul Rudd looks the unicorn in the eye and sees that it's still very pro-murder.
Right. Paul Rudd and Ripley are smarter than us. They put on their seatbelts, which they've not been wearing.
And they embrace each
down,
other
like
and
in the
hunch
brace
down.
position, like in the unicorn.
Using their handcuffs to lock themselves to each other in brace position.
And the unicorns push the cop car off the road into a lake.
Into like a ravine. It is a significant... It's not like a fatal drop, but it's a significant drop.
That car's going to roll before it hits the water. Yeah. And the credits roll. Ripley and Paul Rudd have gone to live in space with the unicorns. Griff is now the sole survivor and witness of any of this. Or, possibly, he's living in space with the unicorns as well. It's unclear.
Is the lady cop dead? Does the cop live with the unicorns in space as well? Are they now on the run with the unicorns because they've been framed by unicorns?
Because all of the evidence that they didn't do all those murders and there was unicorns has now, like, the only other eyewitness has just been murdered. So now they
live, but
now they killed all of those people and also a cop.
Even if she lives, they're not going to believe her about the unicorns because now she's concussed.
Now you have a head injury. Is this all getting pinned on Griff?
Does Griff have a dash cam? That's the important question.
Or is Griff living in space with the unicorns?
Is this about to become one of Canada's greatest mysteries? What happened to those billionaires? Because the only dash cam footage we have shows some kind of weird white blur hitting the cop car from the side.
But everyone is super dead up there.
Yeah.
This was such a film.
It's such a film, and like we've talked for like an hour, but there are things I want to mention about this.
Because you've had all of our like plot by plot beat reactions to like,
which are incredible. Most of which are We Love Griff.
Most of which are We Love Griff. Some of which are things like we think the writing's really smart.
The writing is fantastic, but there are other things. One of the things I was fascinated by is I think there is an implication throughout that the billionaires planned all of this.
Yes, like, and I didn't pick up on it immediately, but yes, he has a scripted justification ready to go at each step of this.
And also, crucially, they insisted that Ripley be there.
If you do not bring us a good-hearted maiden, we are not doing business with you.
Yeah.
For no reason whatsoever.
And every time Ripley says she wants to leave, they flip.
They flip.
They freak.
They start emotionally blackmailing, well, financially blackmailing, really, but in a sort of weird honour-based
Yeah, in a like, well,
conscience.
If you're not a good friend to me, I can't do business with you.
Right.
And you will no longer have my friendship or all the money I'm giving you.
Right, but the actual threat is the money. It's just it has this sort of weird...
He phrases it as an emotional issue
because about why we're going to take money away.
Because to people that rich, money is emotional.
Yeah.
It's not... You don't need it, it's just there.
But also because everything our billionaire says, he's sort of careful to put on the record, even if just like the witness record.
Yeah.
That everything he actually says in the court transcript is going to look much better than I threatened to call off the business deal. No, I didn't say that. What I said was if I could not trust him to keep his word, I would call off the business deal.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with taking his daughter away. The point was he had promised to be there. And
exactly.
So
he is very media trained.
He's very media trained. He's very media savvy.
But like, they've got this expert hunter on staff.
What
He's
are the
got
scientists
his little
doing here?
They're already there, or at least within like easily callable distance, because she's said they're there for a weekend.
Right. You've got your
it's like max one day
markswoman with you,
and your army of bodyguards who all get killed quickly by a unicorn. And you've got, like, a lot of labs set up ready to go, which I know you're a rich elderly cancer patient, so you probably do have, like, a decent amount of medical equipment, but, like, the polytunnel for transporting baby unicorns?
Right, what have you got surgical gurneys for?
Also, I noticed there aren't a lot of hunting trophies in that house.
No, we don't
There's
have
no
the
moose
impression.
head.
No.
There's no, like...
Our billionaire might have gone big game hunting, but it doesn't actually seem like it's one of his big hobbies.
Yeah, I think I briefly saw what might have been a mounted deer head in one of the, like, rooms, but it was, like, in the background.
That goes with the dark wooden leather lodge aesthetic more than the hunting.
It wasn't like the guy I knew when I was a teenager whose dad had, like, a, like, double... This was a rich dude. Had a double staircase, like, spirals... You know those, like, ballroom-style double staircase? Where the big wall between the two was covered in dead things?
Right.
There wasn't one of them.
That billionaire
But he had
claims to
his
have...
hunting outfit all ready to go.
He had his hunting outfit all ready to go, and he claims to have hunted lions and elephants and great apes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pinged on that one. I was like, that's people, isn't it? That's people. You don't go hunting gorillas.
I mean, I'm sure people do, but I don't think that's what you meant.
But I think you meant people.
Yeah. Or you at the very least wanted to.
You seem like the guy.
I think he probably has. But like, so they insisted on her being there. They
really
were
wanted
very upset every time she mentioned she'd been looking at tapestries. They had all of this stuff ready to go. It's in an incredibly isolated location where they have brought their lawyer, who is a mark and has a pure-hearted maiden for a daughter. They planned this.
They are really horrified that she's studying art history. Like,
they are very horrified that she's studying art history.
Like the way it reads immediately, because partly you're led by how Paul Rudd reacts to it.
Because Paul Rudd reacts like, oh, that's not good enough for you. Right. Well, she's undecided.
But partly because you see billionaires make a horrified and disgusted set of face, and you think, well, this must be about a class thing, about what kind of person studies art history. But no, it's you're worried she might know things about unicorns. And you're right to be worried.
Also, the thing is, like, it hasn't come up yet, but he's a cultural anthropology buff.
Yeah.
He's not, like, in a very racist colonialist way, but he is a cultural anthropology buff. He is constantly talking about other tribes and other cultures and, like, his beliefs about them. He's not correct, but he's not anti the arts as a concept.
Yeah, at one point when he's, like, genuinely possibly dying, because at this point, it's when they're testing the unicorn horn infusion, so, like, he doesn't know whether this is going to work or not. Like, genuinely, he doesn't know. And he tries to start explaining how, I think it's the Blackfoot tribe thanked people, and it's cut off by his wife, who was like, no one ever needs to hear about that, shut up.
Yeah.
But, like, he clearly, like, this is just spontaneously, like,
and,
he
like,
knows this
a lot
stuff.
of the books they have are reference books, and also, I noticed this, there are books missing from their shelves.
Their library is not full, yeah.
There are missing books from their shelves. They do not want these people to know anything about unicorns.
Unfortunately, she is studying art history. She's
and unfortunately, she happened to have a photo of that tapestry already on her phone, so she could look up, like, the specific... Even if she didn't know the name of it off the top of her head, she has a photo of which museum it's in and that it's a tapestry with a unicorn.
And it's these specific, like, slightly goat-bearded unicorns where it's a little questionable whether these are based on horses or goats or what kind
So
of
she knows that's the one to look into in more detail, that it's similar, etc. So, like... And that's why they are horrified every time that she mentions doing any amount of research or thinking.
Yeah. There's an interesting scene that I think ties into this, which is Billionaire's son is in the hot tub talking to Paul Rudd's lawyer and making some very obvious come-ons. Like, they're going over the lawyer's head, but the whole bit about repeatedly insisting that he should join him in the hot tub and we'll have various euphemisms.
Yeah.
I think he's supposed to, as far as his parents are concerned, be trying that out on her.
Yeah.
Like, his job in this meeting, this whole weekend setup, is to distract the daughter so she doesn't...
Yeah, that's why he's here. He's
know
not
what's
useful.
happening.
But...
And he completely fails at this job. I think our billionaire son might not be straight, because he's kind of coming onto the lawyer and not the lawyer's daughter.
Yeah. And also, he doesn't know that's his job, because they haven't told him this, because he's their idiot son.
He is their failed son. And
he's an absolute failure. They have told him nothing about the plan. He doesn't know it's his job to seduce the daughter.
His job is to just be the gracious host enough to distract this one girl.
Yeah.
And he is incapable of even being a sufficiently gracious host to keep company with the one person of his own age who's at the weekend party. Yeah. And he doesn't even pick up.
Well, also...
even on the billionaire, you are supposed to be cultured. You're having a weekend party. Your parents are doing business with...
You entertain the child.
You entertain her. She's your age. Take her for a walk.
Yeah. It's like, okay, like, he's what, like 4 years older than her? He's in his early to mid-20s.
Make conversation with her. Introduce her to the concept of aged whiskey. Do something.
Do anything except get in the hot tub with her dad.
That's not what you're supposed to be doing here. We didn't explain to you your job because we thought you were smarter than that, and I don't know why we bothered thinking that you're not.
I know. It does actually make me think of, like, I have known very, very wealthy people who do this. There is a cadre of extremely wealthy people, and, like, this type of wealth, old money, like, you know, the wife can be a little bit new money, but not too new money. Like, the dad has hunting trophies level wealth, where the way they will acquire matches for their sons is they will find, if their son is a failure, they will find a woman with potential of a slightly lower class who will therefore be grateful, and they put them in a room together.
Yes.
And that is how, if you are at that level and you have a failed son, that is how you matchmake.
Right.
You find someone who will be grateful for the opportunity.
And you do, in fact, invite her father to come hunting at your lodge for the weekend and bring your daughter along. It'd be lovely for her.
Yeah.
And then you leave her and the son alone all weekend.
Yeah, this is rich people matchmaking.
Yeah.
That's how it works. It's just that in this case, they aren't looking for a wife for their failed son. They are looking for a maiden for their unicorn farm.
They just brought him there to keep her occupied.
I suspect if Paul Rudd had been even slightly less desperate, they would have not said but implied that they were interested in setting his daughter up with their son.
Right. It would be a very rich
an
person tactic.
excuse for why they brought her along.
You say, we want you to come and we're considering bringing you in like as a partner in the family business and possibly, maybe also in the family because we would like this to,
They didn't need to use that
remain
excuse.
a family business. So bring your daughter along. Our son isn't attached to anyone. And if they don't hit it off, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not a requirement. We can still do business, but bring her along.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he's not quite sort of woven in the circles where matchmake your children for mutual benefit is a thing.
Yeah, like he's like he's a lawyer. He's not broke, but he's not of a class.
It's a class thing.
Yeah, he's not. It's a nationality thing. I don't know that.
That's probably
I'm
true.
sure that wealthy Americans and Canadians do also have similar matchmaking traditions, but I don't know that they're the same ones.
Right.
Whereas this, I'm thinking very specifically of upper class English.
Invite the girl's father to hunt with you for the weekend and bring your daughter along, and we'll make sure we put the children in a room together as often as possible, and they will get the picture.
Yeah. Like, they will understand that this is the job they have been assigned. And his son is American.
Yeah. His son's very American.
His son is extremely American.
And he is not picking up on the undercurrent.
No, he has not been trained in, like, British upper-class social mores. Because that would have been a wife's job, and the wife is American.
Yeah. She taught him American manners. He probably has beautiful American manners when he's on his society manners.
Yeah, like, when he is, like, on a yacht, like, in Martha's Vineyard or something, he's probably impeccably behaved. By which I mean, like, doing 8 lines of coke and jumping off the mast.
Right. But like, within the cultural norms of his people.
Yeah. But put him in this situation where he's been not told that he is supposed to entertain the daughter of the business partner invited to the hunting lodge. He has no idea what to do, and he's, like, inviting her father to go hot tubbing.
He's really insistent about it.
He's so insistent.
He like shouts at the top of his voice for Griff to fetch him some swimming trunks.
Because the guy said, I don't have swimming trunks, and he doesn't
realise. The guy's
realise.
like, no, I really can't. It's like, Griff, never mind.
It's interesting because the swimming trunk thing is one I pointed out as like, it's a sign that he doesn't understand this social class, because at a certain social class, you go nowhere without one evening or cocktail outfit and your swimming things.
Right, if you are invited to anywhere, particularly,
I don't mean like
to the billionaire's house.
Yeah, I don't mean like if you're going to Sainsbury's.
Yeah, right, you're invited to a billionaire's house, so you take your business clothes for the weekend and also shove in there some swimming trunks, which don't take up any space, and a proper formal shirt and jacket.
Yeah.
Because you might end up anywhere, or you might discover that there are 3 dukes coming to dinner and you need to dress for it.
Yeah, it could happen. Even if it's not likely, how much space are you really taking up for one dinner jacket and a pair of trunks?
This is secretly why cocktail dresses are quite small.
Yeah, like, so that you
so
can
they pack down
them
easily.
It's like,
You fit them in your handbag.
I'm not of that social class, but I have a job where I quite often have to go unexpectedly to, like, nice events.
Yeah.
And, like, I will quite happily keep a, like, silk cocktail dress wrapped up in the side pocket of my backpack in case there is a sudden opening at an event I can cover.
Because it might come up.
Yeah. It's like...
Paul Rudd is not aware of this tactic.
And even the son is, like, almost aghast that he didn't bring swim trunks, because what do you mean? You came to our lodge and you didn't bring...
You didn't assume you would go hot tubbing with me.
Yeah. It's like, it's almost an insult. He's like, oh, I will brush over your faux pas by having Griff get you some.
Right, and the illustration.
And
These are the kind of people
also...
where the butler will be able to find you a swimming costume.
Yeah. This is partly also why the costuming matters so much, which is they have arranged everything to their aesthetic, to their desires. Everything matches. All of the staff, whether they are household staff or the lawyer who they're entering a business partnership with, or the scientists, all are dressed the way they want their staff dressed.
Yes.
Except for Ripley.
Ripley
sticks out like a sore thumb. She clashes with the scenery. She looks like...
She did not pack anything in black and white.
She didn't pack anything in black and white. She certainly didn't pack a cocktail dress.
She does not have a cocktail dress.
No.
I say this because she is, like, a university student.
Yeah. So she's an art history student.
She's not ever needed a cocktail dress.
And don't know, she's not badly dressed.
No,
she's
that's not
just
what I'm
dressed
saying.
like a university student.
Right, she doesn't own a cocktail dress for the same reason I have never owned a cocktail dress, which is that I have never had a prospect of going to any event where I would need one.
Yeah. This is the thing. It's like, she's just, from her perspective, her dad has brought her to a meeting.
Right, her dad's dragged her along on a business weekend, and the way she puts it in the car on the way there is that she's there as the, like, a pity token
Yeah.
to get them to work with him by playing up the single father aspect.
Yeah, she like offers to like cry about her dead mum.
Yeah.
It's
He's
like a
that's
sweet
not why I
bonding
brought
moment.
you. I brought you for much weirder reasons.
Yeah. I don't quite understand why they insisted you be here.
But this was their idea, not mine, okay?
Yeah.
And she's like, that's not better.
That's much creepier, actually.
Yeah.
But like, I genuinely think that all of the clues are there. This was their plan from the beginning, and
Yeah.
that is why they
Yeah.
react so weirdly to her at multiple points. And the son is not in on it. And interestingly, when the son starts to come up with essentially the same plan but worse, the mum says nothing.
Yeah.
Because every time she tries to speak, he interrupts her.
She has 2 attempts of saying, despite everything and you being a complete failure, I love you, and both times he interrupts her and she doesn't get to finish.
Yeah, she doesn't get to say anything meaningful to him until she tells him to blow her up.
And then he doesn't. And she gets disemboweled by a unicorn.
Like, she wanted to go down fighting and he denied her that.
Yeah. He literally ran off and left her instead of doing the one thing she asked him to do.
Yeah. And this is the thing that's interesting, is if we're correct, then she doesn't at any point bother to tell him that he is actually finally living up to his dad because they've had the same stupid plan.
That would have been great.
I know, right?
Right.
Like, hey, you know this idiot idea that's gotten us all into this situation? That's the idea you had. But, like, you had it
Worse and late.
worse and late.
Which, I mean,
Slow clap.
I have to wonder whether the whole bit, the reason she cuts him off about telling anything about the Blackfoot tribe's customs was that maybe that's how they figured out where the unicorns were living.
Because, yeah, they're on
Maybe that's
Blackfoot
related
land.
to, that's why there are unicorns. Like, that's how we
Yeah.
know. Like, that's the anthropology that got us to, like, build our hunting lodge in this particular bit of Canadian wilderness.
Because it is, like, it's named after them. It does appear that they did build the lodge.
Yeah.
Or at the very least have done sufficient, like, their family owned it, presumably.
Yeah.
But, like,
Maybe rename
it's like, you know, they have purchased and renamed it, or it's been in the family for a long time, but they have selected this
Yeah.
location of many. It's not like they've booked it for a weekend stay. They definitely own it.
They crucially also haven't, like, got a lawyer to bring his daughter on the off chance a unicorn will show up.
Yeah.
I'm sure road killing a unicorn wasn't their plan, but they specifically brought them here because here is where they think there are unicorns.
Yeah. This is also why we mentioned Griff's general eagerness. This is why they brought Griff. Like, they need a manservant, but they specifically need a
They
manservant
need
who
an
is...
Igor. They
Well,
need someone.
It's more that he is...
Griff, flip the switch.
It's more that he is, like, very... As we mentioned, he has very few lines. I think their impression of him is that he's a bit of an idiot and will do whatever they say, because they don't understand that he is just doing his job.
Right, they are not even though he's making them in full view, they are not ever noticing the faces he is making of you people are insane.
Yeah. They have not clocked that Griff thinks they're all
Right.
weird
They've not
lunatics.
noticed his reaction to every ridiculous thing they ask of him is to be like, is anyone else hearing them say these words with their faces?
Because the not Griff, the more talkative member of staff, is just mad hunting. She just wants to shoot stuff.
She would love to shoot stuff. She would love to go hunting.
I think
By
they have
apes.
selected the staff that they think will go along with this plan, including the, like, really needy scientist lady. Like, she is very eager for, like, instructions and praise.
Yes, yeah.
And whereas, like,
Even right up to the end, she does everything she's told. She steals like one tiny vial of ground up unicorn horn. She doesn't steal the horn. She steals like a tiny vial of unicorn horn.
yeah,
And then goes out there in front of 2 enraged unicorns with their mutilated baby.
yeah,
Without the horn, because that's why they separated the horn from it, because they would
Yeah.
keep that bit. And it's just like, I hope this makes us cool.
yeah,
And does not seize the chance to run away while they are, like, nuzzling it. She just
Yeah.
sort of stands there and watches.
yeah,
Because she was told to do that, so she does that.
yeah,
Yeah, I think they picked her quite deliberately.
yeah. The male scientist seems to have a little bit more backbone, just on the basis that he, like, disagrees out loud with the billionaire, which is more than she
I
does.
suspect they picked him for actual scientific
Yeah, I think
expertise.
he might actually be good at his job. I'm sure she's fine, but I think,
think
he
she's
is
a
the
lot
one
more
who's
junior.
actually knowledgeable.
Yeah.
And she has been handpicked because she will not argue.
I think she's the assistant, yeah.
Griff, likewise, will not argue, but Griff won't argue because he doesn't want to talk to them, rather than because he doesn't have the spine.
Which is why we wondered that he might have been kidnapped.
Yeah.
He clearly does not like these people or want to work for them.
I think he's just incredibly well paid.
I hope so.
Yeah. Which I don't think he actually is because he's using wired headphones, but, like, presumably he's been offered a large amount of money.
But he is
put up
buying
with
this
this.
sort of £7 using the £7 headphones that you can get from Home Bargains.
Yeah. But, like, presumably he has been offered a decent amount of money for this weekend.
I wonder if how they're holding him hostage is they haven't paid that good paycheck for a while.
Yeah, or it's possibly also just residential work. It's like oil work. You go, you live with these rich people for a month, you cater to their every need, and then when you get back, here's a ton of money.
Yeah, when you get back to England from the hunting lodge, then we pay you.
Yeah. And, like, Not Griff just wants to shoot stuff. I feel like this is a very carefully selected crew of people. And Paul Rudd has, like, the thing is, when Paul Rudd is confronted with a unicorn threatening his daughter, he is ready to throw down. There is not one time in this movie that Sydney is threatened where Paul Rudd does not sprint to get between her and the unicorn.
He's just not good at spotting that billionaires are dangerous.
He is incapable of recognising that an offer can also be a threat. Yeah. He is only viewing these billionaires as a potential means to get money.
Yeah.
And he is not picking up. Because, like, even without the unicorns, their attitude towards Ripley is creepy.
And the thing is about billionaires is that the reason they're billionaires is that they are good at not giving the money away.
If they were planning on giving away all their money, do you think they would have invited their sole heir to watch it happen?
The look on his face when he realises his dad isn't dying next week and he is secured and he's not getting that inheritance anytime soon is precious.
It's bad. But this is the thing, is like, they've selected a lawyer who has absolutely no, like, capacity to recognise any of what's going on here.
Yeah.
He's, like, clearly very affable.
He's a patsy.
He's a patsy. He's affable. He's a bit nervous. He doesn't really understand what their social class does.
Right. He's very afraid of losing the paycheck from this, which makes him very biddable.
Yeah. And his daughter doesn't have any power if her dad says we're staying.
Yeah.
Like, we never even see her drive. I'm not sure she can.
No, she's behind the wheel at one point, but that's she gets behind the wheel of a parked car and is, like, trying to figure out whether she's going to drive away or is...
Like, I'm not clear she can physically leave.
Yeah.
It's like, the pure maiden will be here because her dad is going to make her be here and she's not going to leave without him and he will do whatever we say.
Unfortunately, the unicorns disagree with our plan because it turns out they are vicious and vengeful and much bigger and powerful than we expected.
This is the thing, is I think they planned for the unicorns to be vicious. I don't
think they realised they'd got a baby unicorn.
Yeah, I think they thought the unicorns were all, like, the size of a pony.
Yeah.
Because that's the size that the baby unicorn is. And then the full-size unicorns show up and they are absolutely massive. Yeah.
With razor-sharp barbed horns.
Yeah.
Long fangs.
Like,
hoof
honestly,
claws, and a bad attitude.
The size, like I said earlier, the size of the horse put me in mind of a moose because it is the size of a draft horse with a massive thing on its head.
With a massive thing on its head.
Yeah. And, like, they mostly, because they're sort of vaguely horse-shaped, they're mostly actually stooped. You very rarely see one stood upright.
Yeah, they don't... Horses, you may be aware of this, listener, not bipedal.
Yeah, but we see the scratches from when they rear up, and we see the silhouettes of them rearing up.
Yeah, and the horn scratches are about 12 feet up in the trees.
They are huge.
I kind of want to ride one.
I do kind of want to ride one. But, like...
Also, they have cat eyes, which is a really nice, creepy touch.
There is some great... We were saying, actually, the creature design is really good because they are just successfully... It's not necessarily the uncanny valley of horses.
No, you would believe that, especially without the horns, you would believe that this was just some equine species you weren't familiar with.
Yeah.
But it successfully reads as some equine species you're not familiar with.
They also, I think they very successfully read as sufficiently unnatural looking that I would be afraid if I was with one. Right, regardless of whether it was...
Had the teeth out.
Yeah, had the scary teeth and the scary horn out. If I was in a field with that thing, it's the same as a bull. I don't necessarily need to think the bull has specific animosity towards me to think I would rather there was a fence between us.
Right. I am at the very least going to skirt carefully around the edge of this field, keeping a close eye on the unknown temperamental animal that's also in the field with me.
Yeah.
I am not going to walk up to it and go, "Oh, aren't you lovely?"
There are lots of things that are not actively predating upon me that I would not want to hang out with in the wild. And, like, I think they very successfully achieved that. Like, there is something just... It's also that, like, again, I don't think uncanny is the word. There's something unnerving about the fact that they are very clearly predatory.
It's the forward-facing eyes.
The forward-facing eyes, but also the, like...
Although, to be clear, not to a point where they don't look like equines.
No,
like, they are not fully forward like ours
they
or
actually
cats
remind me of
midway sideways.
They remind me of a bird of prey in terms of, like, skull configuration.
Yeah, they've clearly got good binocular vision based on where their eyes are, but they also are seeing a lot more out to the side than we are, for instance.
But, like...
They're not flat-faced.
Yeah, like it's also like the Moor, because they do have the fangs, they hold their jaw like things that have fangs. Like it's
Yeah.
really good creature design. They look like predatory horses.
Right, and they snort and sniff a lot, which is the thing horses also do.
Yeah.
But when they've got their fangs showing as they're sniffing
It's
and
much
snorting,
more
it's much
hunting
more
dog
scarier.
than horse.
Yes, exactly.
Which I don't love.
You're not a fan?
It's good creature design, but there are a couple of... It's not a scary film. It's a gory film, but it's not
a gory
scary.
film. It has several jump
There are
scares.
a couple of shots that are like genuinely quite frightening.
It has a couple of jump scares and has quite a lot of gore sections.
The jump scare we shouted out earlier is like genuinely really good because it has that silhouette beat jump
Yes.
scare. It's really well done. And there are a few of the horn attacks that even though you can see all of them coming, it's still incredibly jarring.
There are several points where I was like looking away, not because I was like surprised by what the next shot was, but precisely because I knew what the next shot was going to be, and I chose to have my eyes closed for the head going pop.
It's like at one point I was like carrying our plates because we've been eating out of the room.
You were
and,
like, when the jump scare shows up, I'm going to drop these.
Yeah, I was standing, I'd stopped carrying them to watch the movie and there was a jump scare clearly coming and I was honestly worried I was going to drop the plates when it happened.
Right. Well telegraphed, but still startling.
Yeah, like that's my like fun theory number one. I also want to say, I do think there is just... Obviously, we've talked a little bit about the class dynamics. I do think it's doing a lot with the class dynamics here.
I think there's more to be dug into than we got on a first pass. So.
Yeah, and there's like the pharmaceutical elements of it. I love that they did actually name drop that these are... This isn't like...
No, right, their money is from... They didn't specifically say, possibly because it is more recent than Fen Fen.
Yeah.
And therefore more likely to get them sued.
Yeah.
These people are clearly opiate billionaires.
Yeah.
Like, they have made their money off getting as many people as possible addicted to fentanyl.
Yeah. He is old money, new wealth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. He has got all the class and culture of English aristocracy, and then they have made a fortune on top of that through pharmaceuticals.
Also, she is, like, she's got the big statement necklace, she's got the, like, tailored blazer. She looks like a corporate lady who was retired to be a wife.
Yes.
Like, that is the vibe here. Like,
I think a lot of the, like, pharmaceutical company stuff is on her side, but it's using his money as the seed money.
And, well, crucially, I think...
They're a really effective and convincing power couple.
Yeah.
Which is very... So, she is not a trophy wife.
But also, she does seem excited to be working again. You get the impression she has...
She wasn't enjoying being retired and waiting for him to die.
Well, based on the age of him, he's probably in his early 20s, so she will have had him in the early 2000s, which is post-Fen Fen. She did her business lady career before she had him. Yeah. I think she quit working to, like, not raise the kid, because rich people don't raise their children, but you can quit working to pay someone else to raise your children.
Yes.
And I think that that's what she did. They, like, still had all their money from pharmaceuticals, and she possibly didn't even oversee the opiates crisis.
Right, the company was probably still going and earning them all of the money. It's just that she wasn't on the board on the day-to-day executively running the thing anymore, and she's excited to get back to it.
And she's now nursing him. This madcap scheme is the first chance she's had to actually do something with her life since the son was born. And possibly that's why the son thinks that she's not capable.
Yeah.
Is because all of her being like a
has been soft power
C-suite
society
lady.
Stuff.
Like, her C-suite lady days were before he was born. Yeah. He's only ever known her as someone who, like, attends cocktail
She does soft power society things, and he is not smart enough to realise that soft power is power.
Yeah, he doesn't understand that she has anything of value to bring to this family industry.
Yeah. I think she's... So what I really like about the billionaire and the wife as a couple is, like, I find them very persuasive as a power couple.
Yeah.
Like, she's not a trophy wife. This is also, to me, it does not read as even, like... And people can have a satisfying sex life within their marriage without having married for lust, but they clearly didn't marry for lust. You know? They I think they married...
I think they are that kind of setup that I mentioned.
They married as a business proposition.
Yeah.
They may also have found each other, you know, satisfying to be with,
think, like,
but that's not really relevant to what they were doing.
She's American, so no matter, like, there is no way she's not new money by his metrics.
Right.
Because new money by English metrics is money that's younger than America.
Yeah.
So, like,
legitimately the best way to be in... Like, the easiest way to be in one of the Houses of Parliament in this country is to be descended in direct line from a Norman invader.
Yeah.
Like, that's not me exaggerating.
No, that is just a fact about
If you are descended in direct male
line
from a Norman invader, you're in the House of Lords.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
But like, this is the thing: is we like know that she's new money compared to
Right.
him. I think she was exactly the kind of setup that we talked
they
about
married
earlier.
as a business proposition, and they both had a satisfying and effective life, making that work as a business proposition. And it's all been a bit interrupted by him having cancer.
I think he was the kind of, not necessarily complete fail, but like medium fail son, who they had to put in a room with a woman of slightly lower class, but
Right,
with...
so that she could cotton, oh, this man is catchable,
Yeah.
and he's got money.
He's got clout and money.
He's got contacts, he's got money, I could have his contacts and use his money, because I've got ideas.
And she had money, but not his kind of like...
I don't have the kind of money where I've got a cellar full of vintage porn.
Well, she had the kind of money that someone earned.
Yeah.
Not like necessarily...
Right, she's got the
parents,
kind
but-
of money where the question is, so what did your dad do to get it?
Yeah.
He's got the kind of money that's like, oh, it's so fortunate for you that none of your last 16 generations had a gambling habit.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, she wanted some coattails and he needed a wife because at a certain point it's mandatory. They were put in a room together, probably by his parents, and they said,
And they both
I understand the
right.
arrangement.
They both cottoned on that they were being offered each other as a prospective spouse and went, yeah, we can make this one work.
This will work, yeah.
Because crucially, most of the time, if you are put in a room in this way to make your own arrangements, you are allowed to be like, no.
Yeah, this is the
No.
difference between like
He
forced
looks
marriage
like
and
a
arranged
ferret.
marriage.
He looks like a ferret and he can't string a sentence together. I'm not doing it.
This is the thing, like people talk about the difference between forced marriage and arranged marriage a lot in terms of other countries. They very rarely reflect it within their own culture. We absolutely still have arranged marriages
Absolutely
in Britain.
we do.
We just don't talk about them.
No.
And also they only happen to the upper classes. Well, not only, but mostly.
They also happen within certain fairly fundamentalist Christian approaches because
True, yes.
the rich find their partners by daddy being invited to hunting weekends. The evangelical Christians find their partners by going on missions together.
Yes, this is true. But like,
And then you meet the first boy you haven't known since he was 12 and then you marry him.
yeah. But the thing is, like, the difference is here, the reason it's an arranged marriage and not a forced marriage is an arranged marriage, you all go, they pick,
You get to interview your prospective partner.
you go
and
out
say
for
no.
dinner together once.
Right.
And you give a yes or no. That's
But
it.
you are allowed to say no.
Yeah, you can say no. If you say no too many times, people will start getting annoyed with you.
But you
that's
are allowed
not...
to go, no, he can't string a sentence together and he looks like a ferret.
Exactly. Were you offered a ferret man at some point? Where is this coming from?
No, but I recently read the Peter Wimsey books and he was repeatedly described as looking like a worried heron or a ferret.
This makes sense, yes. But yeah, I think like that's the deal with the two of them. And they, to be fair, the only thing wrong with this plan is their lack of information about unicorns, something they could not possibly have gained.
It turns out unicorns are much more dangerous than they thought.
Like, if a unicorn was like, I don't know...
Biddable, sweet, nice.
Not even biddable.
Just
like,
about
just
horse level of violence even.
Yeah, like, not even that. I think, like, honestly, if it was just, like, not moose-sized, if it was, like, you know, normal
less
horse-sized, or less intelligent, like, if it was a dumb beast, or if it was a bit smaller, or if it was just, like, a bit less pointy,
Yeah,
this would have been fine.
yeah. If it was pony-sized and
Or
only
if their
smart
son
enough to
wasn't
go...
an idiot.
Yeah, if it was pony-sized, if it was smart enough even to go, you smell of unicorn blood, I must stay away, or even charge you to get you out of my territory, but not smart enough to go, I will hunt you through the halls of your mansion specifically to find the horn that you took off so I can reunite it with my child.
Yeah.
But that's a high level of intelligence for an animal.
Yeah. And crucially, none of that's information they could have gotten, because, like, that's not in the tapestry. The tapestry says, hey, unicorns will fuck you up.
Right.
It doesn't give
But
specific details.
But medieval history will also correctly inform you this about bulls.
Yeah. Like, lots of things will fuck you up that we can now deal with semi-automatic rifles and
electric fences.
electric fences.
Yeah.
They had no way of knowing that unicorns set off EMPs.
Right. This was not information available to the medievals because they didn't have phones to be cut off.
Exactly. Like,
Imagine being a unicorn
oh,
and discovering for the first time in your entire species history that you can remote switch off generators.
exactly.
You'd be like, can we all do this? Have we always been able to do this? Is this the thing?
Yeah, it's like, this is the thing. It's like, I honestly think if any of those things hadn't happened, if they hadn't had EMP powers that meant they couldn't network and didn't have the electric fence, if they, like, had been a bit smaller, because, like, even if the sun had come on the hunting party and they weren't short-handed on it,
Yeah.
he was supposed to come.
He had important, urgent hot tub brainstorming to do.
Yeah, like,
And his father is like, someone around here has to... Speaking actually of Ripley, who is like, I despise all of you and I will not participate in this.
Yeah.
He's like, well, that's someone has some moral backbone around here.
And he is clearly slighting both his son and Paul Rudd.
Yes. Like, you I have no respect for because I can tell you what to do. You I have no respect for because you will not do what I tell you what to do. Your daughter, however, I quite like.
Yeah, your daughter, I respect. And not just
She has
using
principles.
her as unicorn.
I have principles. You two are both shit.
Yeah. He's like, game recognises game.
Right. She's the only one here worth a damn.
Yeah.
Now come with me and hunt the unicorn.
Exactly. But, like, this is the thing. It's like, I totally think that, like, with slightly different unicorns, this would have gone swimmingly.
Yeah. If they were just horses.
With either less dangerous unicorns or a less useless son, this would have been fine. If the son had just distracted the girl,
Right.
might have been fine.
And she didn't spend the whole weekend researching unicorns and figuring out the problem.
If he had just gotten her in that damn hot tub, none of this would have happened.
But he didn't understand that it was his job to get her in the hot tub. Instead, he was flirting with her dad.
Or if they had successfully just, like, gotten a hunting party out to take out the unicorns. Also
You know what they
would have
really
been
should have done? They just sort of brought more of his fail son rich friends. They should have made it like a one last hurrah
fine. I
hunting
guess,
weekend.
though, then they'd have had rich people
known
there
about the
that they
hunting
couldn't
lodge.
manipulate.
Also, they'd have known about the unicorns.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah, it's
like,
important that they only have patsies
everyone
there
there
to
has
know
to
about
be
the unicorns.
staff.
Yeah.
Because staff can be controlled. Anyone else is dangerous.
We can't have people there. Only staff.
Exactly. I'm making, gestures.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, it's like, I actually think that is what was happening here. And it's interesting because you can see the social dynamics and the class dynamics are so intertwined with what happens. And, like, also, like, obviously it's a movie about entitlement. That's one of the major themes of it, is, like, that they feel entitled to these people's time, their labour, their physical bodies. Mm-hmm. Like, the way that they, like, in a sense, the way that they immediately throw Griff to the wolves is this no different from them immediately deciding to devour a unicorn.
No. Not at all. It is, it's all just meat.
It doesn't matter that the unicorns are intelligent, it doesn't matter that the staff are people, you're all just game to them.
Staff is just a certain number of warm bodies to throw at the problem. And that is a phrase you use when you do unskilled labour, warm bodies.
And unfortunately, in this case, the problem is an angry unicorn.
What I'm hearing is, if unionising doesn't work, see if you can get a unicorn on side, because they will really help you.
This is the thing. What this is, really, is the story of... I think the unicorns, in some ways, represent the experience he's already been through, which is an old money man who has never lacked in power in any meaningful sense, meeting something that he cannot defeat.
What, cancer?
Yeah! But also unicorns.
You're not wrong. Like, it was literally... This is his one last fling with trying to escape death, the only thing he has not been able to buy his way out of, and it comes for him with horns.
Yeah, like, the reason he's dying of cancer and not peacefully of old age is because it's the first thing that has ever truly threatened him, and he does everything money can do,
including set up catching unicorns.
Like, money can buy you catching unicorns. It can't buy you
the unicorns being cool with it.
The unicorns doing as they're told, because the unicorns
don't behave like staff, and he doesn't know what to do about that.
Exactly. The unicorns don't behave like dumb animals or staff or other rich people. The unicorns are single-minded. They want one thing, because the unicorns are a force of nature.
Yeah.
I compared them to, like, ball lightning multiple times, because it's weird weather phenomena and then a thing we can't understand that's kind of spooky and mystical.
Yeah.
It's like, he is confronting for the first time in his life something he cannot defeat, his own mortality. He says that in the beginning of the movie about the cancer. But it's also true of the unicorn, is he thinks he has conquered it, that he has made himself its master. He's reaching out to it saying, you'll obey me,
he has that
won't
look
you?
on his face of, yes, all I had to do is speak to them and they understand their place.
And then he gets stabbed through the head.
And we all cheered.
Yeah.
Because it was good.
And
then the unicorns look at each other with satisfaction of having killed the one guy and turn in unison towards the remaining rich people.
And they were fully just going to stand there and get gored until Griff went, sorry, excuse me, I think we should maybe shut the door on the angry unicorns and maybe barricade it.
Yeah. And he doesn't waste time trying to get the rich people to understand what a barricade is. He just starts barricading.
He also doesn't ask anyone to help.
Because they're not gonna.
No.
They are not gonna.
He knows these people, they're no use. Like, Paul Rudd is useless just in general. Scientist Lady is useless just in general. He, like, has shared commiserating glances with Ripley, but he doesn't have any faith in her.
Right. He just goes ahead and starts
He's just
barricading
like, you know
the
what,
door.
I'm also going to get killed by unicorns if they get in, so I'm going to make that not happen.
Right.
You all can argue about, like, the gate and the tapestry and whatever else you
You
want.
all are useless.
Yeah.
I anticipate nothing better of you. I don't pause to wonder whether you're going to be useless. I simply get on with it.
There is a reason that Griff is the only person who gets to the end of this movie alive, unarrested, and not thrown off a cliff.
Yeah.
It's because when he sees the unicorns in the end, he just quietly apologises, winds up his window, and minds his own business.
Right. He doesn't try to attack them. He doesn't try to run them down with his mini. He just winds up the window and I will leave you alone.
Yeah. He addresses them as an equal. He apologises. He gets out of their way. He doesn't think he has he doesn't think he's superior to them. He knows
He goes,
they will...
you are a huge deadly animal that could rip my head off.
I'm going to just wind up my window.
You wanted road space? You have the road space.
And let
We're
you
good.
overtake me. I will slow down a gear.
Yeah, we're good. We're
Yeah.
fine. You carry on. You got your own plans.
He doesn't get rammed off the road.
He might later on get arrested because unicorns don't have a strong grasp of Canadian murder laws. Nor do I, but I feel like Griff's going to get arrested because his employers are all horribly murdered, and he's the only survivor or witness.
I mean, the cop did radio it in.
True.
So they do know there were two other people
And then he
who were
was
in a car with the police officer.
with him following them, and then they
Yeah.
ended up in the ravine.
Yeah.
This is not better.
It's not necessarily better. I'm still on team does Griff have a dash cam?
I hope Griff's got a dash cam. Alternatively, I hope he is living in space with the unicorns.
He might be living in space with the unicorns, but yeah.
Although he has kids. He mentions,
Everyone
I can't
ends up-
send me out to do the gate. I have kids. And his employer's like, you have kids?
Yeah.
Of course you have kids. Of course. Yes, I knew that.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we all know that everyone goes to space in the end. So,
The film about the angry unicorns told me so.
yeah. But yeah, I think, the Griff is in some ways the most illustrative part of the movie. While Paul Rudd and Ripley are the sort of main characters, the people who exemplify the themes and meanings of the movie are Griff and Richard E. Grant.
And Griff is there reacting to the things that these awful rich people are saying as if they are actual people who have just said those words with their mouths.
Well, the thing is,
and he's just in the background okay, this is happening. You actually said that. Okay, that's revolting. But yeah, I do work for you, so I will bring you your sandwich, but... Ugh.
the thing is, Griff is a normal guy, and that's why Griff, sort of just doesn't do any of these deranged things. And
Normal
quietly makes his own
people
way.
do not hunt unicorns.
Yeah.
Griff only hunts unicorns under extreme duress.
Yeah. And Griff spends the entire movie,
Being what if we didn't do
losing
it?
his mind.
Well, he doesn't, to be fair, he doesn't spend the whole movie being what if we did it? Because, for the first half of the movie, he is just I'm working in this absurdity for reasons that presumably are sufficient to me, but I am aware that these people are awful people and that a lot of what's going on here is an absurdity.
Yeah.
And then later, as we get through the movie, he starts to voice these opinions to be more, no, you're going to get me killed by unicorns. What if we don't send Griff out to the gate?
Griff doesn't want to go out to the gate. There is no reason for Griff to go out to the gate. Oh, sorry, Ripley's the only person who doesn't vote that. We have been talking for a really long time, so a couple of things
Yes.
that are quick fire round of just things
Quick
we
fire
noticed
round.
that are cool. One, I compared it to Jurassic Park, you compared it to Alien. This is such a good, genre mashup homage.
There are
movie.
so many scenes where I was oh, it's the scene from X. And by the third time, I was oh, this is the scene from X. This is the spooky going through the woods from this film. This is the Twilight, Googling vampires. This is
It's
the chest burster from Alien.
It really reminded me of I don't know, somewhere between Scream and Anna and the Apocalypse. It's a genre mashup. It's very homage heavy. It's very parodic in tone. It's great. I love this kind of movie. It is definitely I'm not saying other people won't enjoy it, but it's definitely a movie I feel it's aimed at cinephiles.
It benefits from the sort of intertextual recognition of the shots that they're not note for note repeating, but they're doing homages and they're doing things you'll recognise. And that is a lot of
It is
fun.
across a lot of genres. And I mentioned...
It's a creature feature.
It's a creature
It's
feature.
great.
It's a great creature feature. It has moments that I was this feels like Jaws. It's got some great moments of suspense in it. And a lot of those are pierced with bathos, and a lot of them are pierced with genuine fright.
Yeah.
And that's grand.
The weakest part for me, I think, is the father-daughter relationship.
The father-daughter relationship is not strong, but I think it's sort of, the script is tight and the acting is tight. It's just that it doesn't get time to be anything complicated. It's
Yeah, it's just sketch.
It's a thing.
Because it has to be.
It's a story we all know, because they get maybe 2 conversations about their relationship. I think
And it's
3,
one at the beginning
really.
of the film. There's a beginning of the film, they lay out the broad strokes of their existing relationship.
In the middle of the film...
Nearly at the end, they have in the bedroom, laying out the like deeper meaning of their relationship, where he's like, I'm just trying to provide for you because I don't know how to love you, and actually it's about me. And then they have a heart-to-heart as he's dying.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the shape of their relationship.
And
as
like,
we are
those scenes are well written and well acted, but it doesn't really have the time to be anything unique or interesting.
Yeah, I think in many ways, because it is laying out a sort of fairly familiar shape of things, it is less interesting than, really? You're inviting him into the hot tub?
Yeah. This is the thing, is the dynamics
which because it's
before.
a little unexpected, is a little more interesting.
And I think, like, there's elements of it that, like, do manage to put a bit of a fresh take on it in terms of, like, the way that it is done. But, like, what is happening is incredibly done.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. But, like, the cast really are phenomenal in this.
Yes. Nobody, like, some people had more chewing the scenery written to their parts than others.
Yeah.
Nobody in this film did badly.
Yeah.
Even the people where we're like, you know, we're saying that the scientist assistant as a character is weak, but as an actor, it's beautifully done.
Yeah, I would say this is honestly, like, in terms of just, like, technical craftsmanship, this is one of the best movies I've seen in the last year. It's so well put together. The script is flawless. The acting is brilliant. Like,
we have seen a film tonight.
The direction is incredible, actually. There's some really good cinematography. And I believe this was a first-time director.
I didn't take note.
It was executive produced by Ari Aster, who is obviously more experienced, but like typically in straight horror. But like I believe this is the first time director, or at least first time like full feature.
Yeah.
And it is incredibly well done.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's really beautifully put together. I recommend it highly.
Go and watch this movie. It's so much movie.
We've already written up our hats for season 2, but this might make it in when we swap something out.
When we swap something out, we might put this in to do a proper analysis of it, because this was just our let's talk about this film we just saw bonus-ode.
Yeah, we had a chance to watch a movie together, and we thought we would like record.
We'll bring you into this experience with us. Our original thought was let's do a riff tracks, and then we realised that we didn't have the recording set up to do that without not being able to put it online, because you'd have the film soundtrack in it.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is my lack of tech savviness. We were using my projector, which doesn't have any... I'm sure you can use sound other than the built-in speakers on the projector, but I don't know how to turn them off.
Also, we wanted to eat our dinners, which were getting cold while we fought with the projector.
Yeah, so I spent a while wrestling with the projector.
So in future, we might do a riff tracks with the theory that you can then play that with the film also and get our live reactions.
If that's something you'd be interested in, reach out to us.
Yeah, let us know what film you'd really like to hear us live commentate as well.
Yeah, in the sign-off at the end and in the description, you should be able to find our email address. Yep. You can also find us on not all, but several social medias. Yep. So just like search for Analysis Roulette and just skip past all of the actual gambling advice.
No one else is using that name in that order, so you'll find us.
Yeah. Drop us a line. We'd really like to know if that is something you'd be interested in and what movies you'd like us to do it with.
Yeah. But this film is great. Go watch this film.
Yeah, go see Death of a Unicorn. It was fantastic.
Just wonderful.
Yeah. And we'll speak to you again soon.
Bye.
Bye.
You've been listening to Analysis Roulette, a podcast applying a randomly selected mode of analysis to a randomly selected creative work, just to see what happens. Your hosts have been Dia and Duck. You can find us on Spotify or on YouTube, and if you'd like to get in touch, you can send us an email at analysisroulette@gmail.com. And remember, if you like our show, share it with your friends, and if you don't like our show, share it with your enemies. Thanks.